At Darlington, we're proud to wear purple and white.
Because Tigers strive for greatness.
In the classroom and on the field.
We know that we can do anything, be anything,
achieve anything.
We're part of a program that is 100% dedicated to nourishing our minds and our bodies.
As teammates, we push each other further than we ever thought we could go.
Because every single one of us has something to contribute.
We practice hard so that when we compete, we can leave it all out on the field.
With each win, we build confidence.
With each loss is a lesson.
Our coaches teach us more than technique.
They prepare us to be good teammates,
friends, and people.
We face adversity together
and push through to reach our goals.
We may struggle,
but we will never give up.
Because today,
tomorrow, forever.
We're Darlington Tigers.
It's time for the Coach Groves Show, where we sit down with the head coach of the Darlington Tigers football team and talk about all things Darlington School football. Now we go live to Matt Davis and Ian Griffin, who are standing by with Coach Wayne Groves.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're glad to have you with us tonight for the second edition of the Coach Groves Show, where we talk all things Darlington football with the head Tiger himself, Wayne Groves. And Matt, we've got a ball game to discuss with the coach this week. We got to see the Tigers in action last Friday.
Indeed we did. And Coach, the first thing we want to say is congratulations on the first win, man. That's super exciting.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a really special night. 21 years of hard work to be able to get to that point, and to be able to get a win in your first ball game is very special.
So I got to know, how did it feel running out there with your team for the first time as a head coach?
Really, really exciting. That's, just the whole day was just built up with anticipation. And I think the kids were ready to play and ready to go out there and show off what they could do. And I was definitely ready to get out there and lead them. So it was a good time.
All right, man. Well, I guess we'll just go ahead and jump into our questions about last week's game. And the first thing that we want to talk to you about is just give us your general assessment on the effort from your team.
Well, obviously we won 48-24, and you want to give up less points than that. But what I took out of the game was that the kids played extremely hard, and I think that's what Darlington football's been about over the years. And it's one of the things I talk to the kids about constantly, and it's one of the things that we definitely talked about pregame wise was, Darlington doesn't always have the fastest, we don't always have the strongest, don't always have the biggest kids, but what you can control is how hard you play and how hard you play for each other, this school, this community. And I held up the helmet right there, talked to him about that white helmet with that purple paw and what that means to so many people that have played Darlington football and what it means to that community. And I challenged him to make sure we play hard for 48 minutes every time we step on the field. So we did that. You know, I looked on the film and I graded it hard to try to find a kid that loafed or pulled up short, couldn't find it. And so even though we didn't always play perfect, we played with great effort and played with great intensity. And so I can coach that type of team, and so I like the direction we're going.
Coach, you know, it's always an adjustment for us. It's our first game of the season, too, up in the booth, so we were getting used to new numbers and kids playing different positions than they were last year. Talk about some of the guys that had to make those changes and how they performed.
Well, you know, one of the things that I do kind of into the summer-wise is guys with perfect attendance. You know, if a number's open from a graduating senior, or if they want to swap a number with somebody that's willing to swap, I let them do that. So I know last year Sammy Konchesky was number 6 and Demarion was number 2, and so they had some perfect attendance, and so they ended up wanting to swap numbers. So I let them swap. So they're in different numbers this year. So you'll see Demarion in number 6 and Sammy in number 2, and of course you'll see McKay Rush in number 50 and not number 21, and Sam 20 from 28 to 57. So. You know, I think it's a good reward for kids that are perfect attendance during the summer. Call that my Champions Club.
Heck yeah.
Well, Coach, of course, we have the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game every week. And, you know, there's so many great individual efforts that led to a great team effort last week. But the choice we felt like was pretty clear in last week's game. But, Ian, our Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake.
And would love for you to elaborate on this player's performance, but Sammy Konchesky going out and just lighting it up, 13 and 17 for 171 yards and a touchdown. And then, of course, he also ran for, 94 yards and 3 touchdowns, so 4 touchdowns on the game. We've watched him sit back and wait his turn, and, you know, from what me and Matt saw, we saw him manage the game well and make the right reads most of the time. Now, you're the coach, though, so you can tell us. What did you think of Sammy's performance?
Well, it's obviously he's got room to improve, but he did a very good job within the game plan that we had this week. You know, the first thing Sammy will tell you, too, because he's a very humble kid, he's a hard worker. He was actually our Super Tiger, which is basically our fastest, strongest, most athletic kid that, you know, we kind of do a test at the end of the summer to kind of judge that. And Sammy won that competition. And so Sammy will be the first one to tell you that he couldn't have done it without his offensive line. And so those guys are up there doing their thing and open up holes for the backs and for Sammy, and giving him time to, you know, throw the football and get it to some other playmakers. So, yeah, it was really I really enjoyed watching how Sammy handled that game, and you know, we expect big things from him in the future as well.
Now, you mentioned you have other awards that you hand out each week. So tell us about this black shirt program that you have.
Okay, so we do give a black shirt award. We actually give 5 of them each week, and that's voted on. The coaches meet at 6 a.m. on Sunday, and so we'll go over some particulars, things for the week. But then one of the things that we are voting on are black shirts, and so we give 5 of them each week. One is given to the offensive and defensive player. Now, we try to give the black shirt is going to be the kid that doesn't always get his name in the newspaper. You know, it's more of a kid that's maybe grinding away and playing his position and playing it perfect, that doesn't have the stats. Now, sometimes it may work out that way where it's the same kid, but you know, this particular week it didn't. So we give an offense, a defense, and a special teams black shirt, which is a jersey. I give them a black jersey, and it's got a skull and crossbones on it that they get to wear every day at practice, you know, because skull and crossbones are pretty cool. So we like that pirate, you know, attacking mentality, you know. So the offensive player black shirt was Aiden Davis, a senior wide receiver, number 13. You know, Aiden Davis, on a lot of the big runs we had, big screen plays we had, he's blocking his tail off, you know, 20, 30 yards downfield, you know, getting the job done. And so that was numerous times. And so Aiden earned a black shirt doing that. The defensive black shirt went to Timmy Smith, a senior strong safety, number 20. You know, Timmy, we had, you know, like Noah Duggan had a lot of production, had 11 tackles at Sam linebacker last Friday. But Timmy, we thought he played his position exactly the way he was coached to do. He didn't have many errors, not many what I call non-commits, not playing your position the right way or the way you've been coached to play. So Timmy Smith got the black shirt there. Special teams, we give one. We got it to Jack Chandler. We had some great special teams play. Aiden Davis, I think he ended up having 3 tackles on special teams, but Jack Chandler had 100% perfect snaps on PATs, 100% perfect snaps on punt, and covered well on punts. So Jack Chandler got the black shirt on special teams. And then we give one for a offense and defensive scout simulation team of the week. So that went last week to Gus Twingy, a junior linebacker and offensive line who we couldn't even get him out from playing scout. He's just in there grinding away, trying to make us better and give us the look that we need to be successful on Friday night. And then on defense, the scout went to Henry Ledbetter, who's a sophomore. He's a starting strong side defensive end. But even when it's time to go simulation D, he's out there and he's giving the first offense. I mean, just raising Cain at him. And so, Henry's efforts gave him the black shirt for that. So it's a way just to honor kids and keep them motivated for practice and give them something to work forward. And that'll be a competition that we'll take out throughout the year. And so at the end of the year at the banquet, the kid with the most black shirts, top 2 kids will get an award for that. So it's something we want to celebrate for those kids that don't always get their name in the newspaper and that are grinding it out to help the team.
Coach, I got to ask you this, and this has nothing to do necessarily with the subject, but you mentioned the design and it being related to Pirates. Are you by chance, or were you a Mike Leach fan?
I got to meet Coach Leach going to
I had to ask.
Some clinics probably about 15 years ago. I'd go to some of those Tony Franklin air raid clinics, and some of that Tony Franklin passing game, it comes from the Mike Leach and era as well. And so Mike would speak at some of those. And so, yeah, of course, if you're a football fan, you got to love Mike Leach. And so, yeah, that pirate mentality he has, that's something that we try to incorporate to the program too.
That's awesome. He was a national treasure.
Oh, absolutely. And the state of Mississippi was much watch football with Lane Kiffin and Mike Leach coaching at those universities. So definitely a loss. Jumping back to the game, I did want to ask you about some of the other players' performances. We saw the offense really do a good job of getting your playmakers the ball in space, and then I thought Miles Twyman was he ran the ball hard every time he got a chance to carry it. Just tell us about some of the other performances that stuck out in your mind.
Well, we thought up front, we thought Jack Chandler played really well at center, and he's playing over on the defensive side too. So he's one of those guys that played both ways. Miles obviously ran the ball very hard. He had over 100 yards rushing. Demarion, I think he was right underneath 100. And then Sammy ran the ball very well. And that's the kind of thing we want to make folks cover the whole field. And so, be able to throw the ball out there, the receivers like Talon and Hendricks Jones and Aiden Davis, and then be able to run it and with Sammy pull it on some of the read, power reads and zone read stuff. It makes our offense really, really go. On the defensive side, as we talked about, Timmy Smith played really well at strong safety. I thought Noah Duggan played really well. He had a lot of production, 11 tackles. And then just throughout the game, rolling kids in, when we end up grading the film, we had 23 kids that made a tackle or assist on our roster. And we're a 50-man roster, so we're not a huge roster, so that means a lot of kids are contributing on Friday night. So that's always a good thing, and a lot of those kids are young kids too, so we're proud of that.
I know one player that made some big-time plays in the game that's going to get talked a lot about this season as a newcomer to the team. But if you didn't know his name going into the game last week, everybody knows it now, and that's Sam Wooten. Made some great grabs, also recovered a fumble throughout the game, and he made an impact on both sides of the ball. So what can you say about his contribution and the expectations, for him, coming into the season and after the game?
Well, he's my linebacker, first of all, and so that's the guy that my defense runs through. And so he's got to be a leader, which he is. He's got to be the smartest player on the field. And we're still working on, getting his mental aspect of the game. Not that he's not handling everything I'm throwing at him, but we want to keep pushing him to handle more as far as in-game adjustments and checks and things like that. So as he gets a little more comfortable, I'm going to start putting a little more on him. And then on offense, we're putting him at tight end. We're putting him at fullback. So we're expecting him to block. We're expecting him to catch the ball in the backfield, and we're expecting him to take some deep shots sometimes. And so some of those, we caught Christian Academy Knoxville in a kind of a bad coverage, and we had a mismatch in a certain little empty formation that we were in, and able to get Sam up the seam a couple of times for some easy scores. So, we're going to keep expecting those big things out of Sam. He's a great kid.
Well, any final comments about the game before we take our first break?
No, all in all, I was pleased with, again, how the effort's gone. We've worked really hard this week on cleaning up some of the mistakes that we made, and we had a good film session on Saturday. And so, we're just looking forward to this Friday. We closed that door on Saturday morning, so we're moving on to Sonoraville.
Well, we're glad to have you with us on the show. This is the Coach Grove Show. When we come back, we've got a new segment that we're going to, introduce to the show this week, and it's called the Getting to Know Coach Groves segment of the show. So we got a question that we're going to pose to him every week and kind of get to know him outside of just coaching football. But today it is a sports-related question, so that's coming up after our break. But we're glad to have you with us. This is the Coach Grove Show, and we shall return.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet Buick GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside Buick GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
All right, we welcome you back to the Coach Grove Show. And as promised before our break, we're going to launch into the Getting to Know Coach segment of the program. And this week, we're going to throw you a softball here, Coach. But we got to know, what is your favorite sports movie of all time?
All right. Well, just to say, what's your favorite sports movie? That's pretty tough. That's a pretty tough question. So, let me see. Let's narrow it down to like 3, and then I'll pick from there. All right. So there's a lot of good sports movies out there, and surprisingly, probably my favorite's probably not a football movie, if surprisingly or not. But you got to throw out movies like Hoosiers. I mean, what a great movie that would be up there. The Rocky movies, which I would say Rocky 4, Rocky 3.
Yeah.
Then Rocky 1 in that order, if you had to do that. Wow. Karate Kid, I'm a 80s guy, so Karate Kid's definitely in there. Bloodsport, maybe the original MMA, and then maybe Rudy, maybe Rudy. So let's see. Favorite sports movie? I'm going to go Hoosiers. I'm just old school Hoosiers.
It's hard not to. I mean, Gene Hackman kills it in that film.
Yeah.
So.
What's your favorite, Ian?
Well, you're putting me on the spot
yeah,
now.
I didn't tell you I was going to do that.
It's tough to pick. It really is. But Hoosiers is up there. Rocky 4 is definitely the best Rocky, and I agree with the order of 3-1 from there, for sure. But I mean, if the Karate Kid's in here as a sports movie, I went through 3 copies of that VHS as a kid, so that would have to be at the top. But one that me and Coach were talking about before the show, Little Giants, man. I want to see Darlington run the annexation of Puerto Rico before the season's over.
For me, baseball, I would say Major League for a comedy, a little bit more serious movie, I'd go Field of Dreams. Although I know a lot of people would throw The Natural into that mix, probably with that one, maybe Bull Durham. For football, for me, it's Friday Night Lights. I absolutely love the halftime speech that Billy Bob Thornton gives, during that particular movie. That movie, that part particularly gives me goosebumps.
All the Right Moves with Tom Cruise. That was one. I love that. That was one I watched when I was a kid.
Hockey, it's going to be Slapshot. Don't watch that with your kids if you never heard of it. Some salty language in that one. But, those are some of my faves. But
Excellent.
Anyway, well, that was the Getting to Know You segment. One of the things that we wanted to talk to you about, Coach, is the fact that obviously if you turn on the news right now, probably the lead story is talking about the heat that's taking place. And so that's something that all high school football teams have to deal with this time of year, but it's been exceptionally hot this week. So what's that look like in terms of protocols and trying to get the work in this week?
Well, I think the biggest misconception with that is people think that it's based off the heat index or the temperature or what it feels like outside, but it's really not. It's temperature, but it's also humidity, and so to start making accommodations to your practice, Georgia High School Association has laid out guidelines that I think are really, really good guidelines to follow. So basically what you're looking at is a wet bulb reading that's got to be taken about every 15 minutes before practice and during practices. So when that wet bulb when the temperature is extremely high and the humidity is extremely high, that wet bulb is going to be high. If the temperature is high and the humidity is low, the wet bulb will not be that high. So in order to start having to accommodate and take time off of practice, or to modify, maybe not going full pads or going pro pads or shells, then that temperature's got to be high with that high humidity. And so Monday this week, we were normal, good to go practice. Tuesday we had a little bit of an issue. We reached what called level 2 wet bulb, which if I'm reading this correctly, is 87 to 89.9. And we have a athletic trainer at every practice, Donnie Brown, who works for Darlington, but also is a physical therapist over at Atrium Health. So Donnie's constantly checking that wet bulb to make sure we're in the guidelines. So Tuesday, the accommodations were with that wet bulb being, I think it was right at 89, that we had to be minimum 2-hour practice, and that we had to be in pro pads, which is basically for us, that's helmets and shoulder pads, and no pants or knee pads or anything like that. So if it gets above 92, that is no outdoor practice whatsoever. You got to be completely indoors. And if it's between 90 and 92, then your minimum or your maximum 1 hour outside with 20-minute breaks. So you basically get 40 minutes if it's in that range, and you can only be in helmets. So today we were actually in that range, and so we chose to go inside instead. That way we could at least put on our pro pads, our helmet and our shoulder pads, and we cut time and period out of practice and got the bare minimum of what we needed to get done. But so that's some accommodations we've had to make, and again, I think those guidelines are safe. They're there to protect kids, and even I tell the kids, even though this might not be ideal, we got to make the best out of this situation and get the most out of it, because we're not the only ones having to do this.
No question about it. That's always one of the interesting aspects of the high school football season, because when you get started, it's hot for a long period of time, and it feels like it's almost playoff time before you actually feel like, hey, this is football weather. But that's just, I guess, what it is, playing football in the southeast in the state of Georgia.
Yeah, and you talked about your trainer. The trainers were busy Friday night.
Oh, man.
A lot of cramps
Tons
out
of
there.
cramps.
Me and Matt we're keeping a cramp count. We lost it.
We were looking for
Yeah.
a sponsor so that we could have a sponsored segment of the broadcast of the game. This cramp was brought to you by, I think we made reference to that a little bit earlier, but something that you had to deal with this past week. But
Yeah, I mean, and I think we won that battle. They think they had 8 kids that cramped throughout the game, and we had 2 that cramped in the second quarter. And then we got some electrolytes in them. We got them some salted Gatorade at halftime, and I'm a believer in it. There may not be any scientific fact behind it, but every player I've had over the years that has taken a big mouthful of mustard has stopped cramping. And so both kids that cramped in the second quarter, they didn't cramp in the third and fourth quarter. But I don't know if it just shocks the body so much, or if the salt and the sodium in the mustard actually goes to work, but it works.
I got a family member, and I didn't know this was a thing, but this particular family member drinks pickle juice.
Yeah.
When that takes place. I never heard that.
Yeah, it works the same.
Yeah, that's wild.
I'm not a fan of mustard. I would have a hard time taking a mouthful of mustard, even if I had a horrible cramp. That would be tough. It's like
I'm just glad you didn't say mayonnaise.
Me and Matt don't like mayonnaise either, and the Duke's Mayo Bowl, I was like, if I was a coach, I would have to turn that bowl bid down. It's like, I'm not taking a risk of a mayo bath. Can't do it.
So the Mississippi Mustard Bowl, you couldn't make it.
No, couldn't do it. Sorry, guys.
The best reference I've heard naming mayonnaise as far as condiments is concerned is somebody called it the devil's condiment the other day, which I appreciate that greatly.
There you go.
Well, getting a little off track here, we're going to take our last break here of the program, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about big game coming up this week, and that is going to be another home game at Chris Hunter Stadium as Sonoraville Phoenix comes calling, and that's going to be interesting to talk about. So we're looking forward to that, but we're glad to have you with us here on this edition, the second ever of the Coach Grove Show, on our YouTube channel, also our Facebook live feed, and then you can listen to it ahead of our broadcast on Friday nights. We get started with this program at 6:45. You can also watch it on the video as well. So a lot of ways to check out this content. But we're glad to have you with us today because we are live, and there's just nothing like being live. So we're going to take a break. We're glad you're with us. We'll be back for our final segment with Coach Groves. Back in moments.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet Buick GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside Buick GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Wellborn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
All right, we welcome you back into the Coach Grove Show, and our final segment is going to be all about the upcoming opponent. It's going to be the Sonoraville Phoenix this week, and I know one of the familiar things about this particular matchup is that you're going to be coaching against one of your former teammates from high school. Denver Pate has been the coach over at Sonoraville for a number of years now. He graduated from Pepperell in 1998. You graduated in 99. So you guys spent a lot of time together back during the high school days playing football and baseball, you mentioned, too.
Yep. Me and Denver grew up together, and, of course, in the coaching world, he's known that he does a great job. He gets his team ready, and, we played football and baseball together in high school, and so – there's a little extra motivation there. You don't want to lose to your buddy, and so I know Denver will have his team ready to play. He's a good offensive mind. He's been coaching a long time, and he's built a solid program there at Sonoraville. So we have a lot of respect for him.
And of course, I know one of the things that every team wants to do in the non-region schedule is get your guys prepared to go up against tough competition once you get into region. And then if you get to the next part of the season and playing in the playoffs, and that's one of the things that I know Darlington's never shied away from is playing really quality opponents there at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, with Christian Academy in Knoxville, good solid team out of Tennessee, and now we get to play a 4A opponent, Sonoraville, that's been in the playoffs quite a bit. So, those are going to help us get our team ready. We'll find out if we're getting better, or we'll find out if we're staying the same for sure.
Matt and I have gotten to see Sonoraville play several times, but they're known to have some serious athletes. What are some of the players that you're going to be keeping your eyes on and are preparing for this week?
All right, offensively, the quarterback's number 17, Jackson Pate. It's Denver's son, Denver's oldest son, and he's a really good player. I think last week he was 20 for 24, threw for about 271 yards and a few touchdowns. So, he's doing a really good job. He's really efficient in the offense. Obviously, him and his daddy are on the same page, so that's going to be quite a challenge. Up front, their best offensive lineman, I think, is number 77, Corbin Stevens. He's 6'3", 240 senior. And then they got a good running back, Wyatt Key, 5'9". He's about 200 pounds, and he runs the ball very hard. And then they have a tight end, Cayman Reynolds, who's about 6'3", about 205, and they use him kind of as an H-back type guy. They'll split him out as wide out. They'll put him in at tight end and using it kind of a sniffer fullback type deal. So we'll have to know where he is at all times.
One of the things I noticed, I was looking at the roster and their coaching staff, and one of the names jumped out at me. I know, Ian, you'll appreciate this. We're both Georgia Tech fans, but Kenny Cooper is one of the assistant coaches on this team who played at Georgia Tech a few years ago under Paul Johnson, and I think he might have been there part of the Jeff Collins era. But they've got some experienced guys on their coaching staff as well. Well, what do you think are going to be the biggest challenges, Coach, of going up against this team coming up this weekend?
Well, Sonoraville's got about an 85-man roster. So, one of the things that, we got to do is we got to try to keep our guys fresh. They're going to be able to basically play two platoon and play offense, defense. And we play a few guys both ways. And so we've got to be selective on how we sub guys and where we play guys in certain situations of the ball game and do the best we can to keep guys fresh into the fourth quarter.
Now, you mentioned some of the things you're working on cleaning up this week. What are the things you want to see from your team as far as their improvement on the field?
Well, obviously, you're never going to be able to tackle well. Last week we missed a few too many tackles for me, so that's been a point of emphasis this week. Had a couple of formation mess-ups, not having the right personnel groupings in at certain times, so we got to do a better job of communicating formations as they're signaled in. So those would be two. You never want to shoot yourself in the foot, and you always want to make sure that you're finishing a tackle, finishing a play once you arrive to the ball.
Well, we're glad to have you with us for the second ever edition of the Coach Grove Show. We're going to start winding things down. here in just a couple of moments. We want to make sure that everybody knows that this show is going to be live each and every week, Wednesday rather, at 7 o'clock on our YouTube channel for WLAQ and also our Facebook live feed from the WLAQ Rome Facebook page. And this has just been a real pleasure the first couple of weeks, Coach. We appreciate you. I know I said this last week, but we really appreciate you giving us some time every week and let people know what's going on with the team and get the opportunity to get all the information about what's going on with Darlington football.
Yeah, I think it's a great deal. You know, a lot of Darlington football fans out there. It's good to promote the team. You know, celebrate some kids that are doing a lot of positive things, and so anytime we can do that, we want to do it.
No question about it. Anything else you want to make sure we cover before we wrap up?
Looking forward to Friday night, Chris Hunter Stadium.
Well, I guess how we could wrap this thing up is probably how we're going to wrap it up every week by saying nothing like a Tiger on a Friday night, man. Just a couple of days away for Toe to Meat Leather back at Chris Hunter Stadium. And nice to have another home game as you kick off the season. So Darlington and Sonoraville coming up. And this week, I know last week the game kicked off at 7 o'clock, but it's 7:30 kickoff this week, correct?
7:30. It'll be 7:30 from here on out.
I got you.
Matt called me in a panic last Friday. So.
Yeah, I have to admit, it's one of those things after you've been doing this for a long time, there are certain things that you do take for granted that maybe you shouldn't. And I never looked at the schedule at the game time, and I got a text message from Nathan from Northwest Georgia Media who does the video coverage, and he said, by the way, the game starts at 7, and I sent him a text message back, and I said, scramble mode activated, and I got on the phone. We got it worked out, but everything worked out great. And, of course, the best part of it was the Tigers got a victory, 1-0 to start the season, and now you get ready for week 2. So, again, thank you, Coach, and appreciate everybody tuning in today, and that puts a wrap on this edition of the Coach Grove Show right here on WLAQ YouTube and our Facebook live feed. Thank you, fellas. Appreciate you guys.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of the Coach Groves Show. We invite you to join us again next week as we discuss all things Darlington football with head coach Wayne Groves. Go Tigers!
We're going to have the national anthem, so we're going to turn up the crowd mic and see if we can get that for you real quick as we open up our broadcast. All right, now we're able to welcome you live to Chris Hunter Stadium, and we're glad to have you with us because guess what, Ian? It's time for Darlington Tigers football Week 2 action.
Ain't nothing like a Tiger on a Friday night, Matt, and we're glad to be back here at Chris Hunter Stadium to watch Darlington take on the Sonoraville Phoenix. This is going to be a barn burner. I just have a feeling.
I do too. You got two teams with great offenses here coming out tonight, and we'll talk more in detail about that as we go along in our pregame, but we'll tell you how these teams have fared so far in this young season. Of course, Darlington played here this past weekend on a Friday night against Christian Academy of Knoxville. Had a lot of success, 48-24. It was the first win of the Coach Groves era, so it was fun to catch up with him this week and officially get the opportunity to congratulate him and his team. And, of course, they start the season 1-0. Meanwhile, the Sonoraville Phoenix, they would take on the Pickens Dragons, one of 3 teams in the state of Georgia, by the way, that are the Dragons, Pickens that is, and they would come up short in that game, although they did have some good quarterback play from Jackson Payton, were able to move the ball. The problem they had in that game, Ian, is they just could not stop the Dragons, and they got outscored.
Yeah, I mean, Sonoraville always seems to have some phenomenal athletes, and they run a very advanced offense under head coach Denver Pate, so I expect there to be fireworks tonight.
And then, of course, one of the things you heard Coach Groves talk about, if you were watching or listening to the Coach Groves show, the re-airing of that earlier this evening, is that there's a connection between those two coaches because they're former teammates. Coach Groves, a 99 graduate of Pepperell. Meanwhile, Denver Pate, the head coach of the Sonoraville Phoenix, Coach Groves 99 and Denver Pate 98. And so they played football and baseball together back in high school. So you always want to get out there and beat your buddy in these situations, right?
Oh, no doubt about it. There's a little extra spice to this matchup because these guys go way back and battled it out together, and now they're going head-to-head. So should be a real entertaining game. Both guys are going to want it just a little bit more.
No question about it. And to talk about the coaching matchup a little bit more detail, Denver Pate, this is his 7th season at the helm of the Phoenix. 2 playoff appearances. His record's 30-33 there. And before that, here's a familiar name in high school football, but Coach Pate was the OC under Jim Kramer, who spent a few seasons over at Sonoraville after his stint over at Adairsville. And you'll remember going and calling some games when Coach Kramer was over there at Adairsville.
No doubt.
And so anyway, he was there, and then when Coach Kramer stepped down in 2017, Denver Pate took the helm there, and before Sonoraville, he was an assistant at Chattooga, Cedartown, and also East Paulding. And then he was a part of Tony Conchessi's staff in the early times over at Berry College as the quarterback coach. I remember going over there during the period of time that WLAQ was carrying the Berry football games and actually interviewed Coach Pate as the quarterbacks coach over there one time. So he's been at a lot of different levels of football, been in sports his whole life, and is an excellent coach. So he'll certainly have him coached up for this evening's matchup.
Yeah, he's played a huge role in building this Sonoraville program into a team you have to watch every year. We got I got my first opportunity to go to the Furnace last year. Was that your first trip when we went?
I've been there several times.
You've been there several times. Great facility, very energized fan base. They're traveling well. As we look across the field, a lot of Sonoraville fans in the stand. They got their marching band here. So, Coach Pate has put his stamp on this program, and now we're watching Wayne Groves just start that process here at Darlington.
And I'm impressed with how many fans are already here for both sides, because let me tell you, you got to love these kids and love you some football to be out there when it's 99 degrees about 10 minutes away from kickoff time. And I just looked at my thermometer, and that's what it says.
Well, I wish I'd gotten the memo because it's Hawaiian night, and I've got a great collection of Hawaiian shirts. I could have busted one out for the broadcast.
My mom went to Hawaii this past summer and got me a really nice one that I actually wore to March Madness last year. And it was funny because one of the teams that was playing where we were, they were the Islanders. And so everybody, I wore it to the game that they were playing in, and everybody thought I was there to root on that team because I had a Hawaiian shirt on. And I'm like, no, I just like the shirt.
It's just the shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just the shirt.
It would have been perfect for tonight, but we missed the memo, so we were not able to participate in that manner.
That's all right. It's fitting for the weather, though.
Indeed it is. Well, Ian, we're going to go ahead and take a 3-minute break down the line. A 3-minute break down the line. We'll come back and continue our pregame. We are about 9 minutes away from toe meeting leather here. Darlington Tigers getting ready to host the Sonoraville Phoenix. It's going to be a great night at the Lakeside. If you couldn't be with us here tonight, we miss you, but we're glad to have you out there on the live stream or on the radio coverage. But we're going to be back in 3 minutes. We'll return.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet Buick GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside Buick GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
My name is Ryan Somerville. I am the sales manager for Business Water Solutions. We do water purification coolers as well as ice machines for any size business. We're on campus right now at Darlington School super happy to be here. They're one of our biggest customers. I myself played sports here. Our two founders played sports here. It was absolutely our pleasure to be a sponsor for Darlington Athletics. I think one thing that really sets us apart is our water purification. There's 13 stages. The reverse osmosis part of it has been a huge part of our success, along with our 24-hour guarantee for service calls. So when a customer does call us, we're then guaranteed within 24 hours. We were able to provide a touchless water system to make it more COVID-friendly in terms of germs and touching the water system. One thing I always say is we're not selling a product, we're selling our service. That's what we really push for every single day, is to have a customer service experience like they've never had before.
At Rome Orthopedic Center, we salute students, freshmen and seniors, athletes and artists, first stringers and choral singers, band majors and game changers. We hope you never need orthopedic care, but if you do, choose the only practice in the Rome area solely dedicated to the orthopedic needs of the students and families in our community. Rome Orthopedic Center. To make an appointment, call 706-292-0040.
Here, I'm becoming who I want to be.
Here, I am looking toward my future.
Here, we learn from our failures so that we may soon succeed.
Here, we're passionate about learning and trying new things every day.
Here, we search for new perspectives and cultures so we can better understand the world.
Because at Darlington, we know we're in the most trusted hands.
As we discover new passions and learn more about ourselves through academics,
athletics,
fine arts,
and service to our community, we show our versatility as we choose different pathways to our goals.
This is our home.
We embrace challenges and persevere, even when something seems impossible.
We collaborate and create to take our place in the world.
We know that together we can make an impact.
This is our moment, our time.
Graduates today, Darlington forever.
We welcome you back into Chris Hunter Stadium, where we are about 5 minutes and 44 seconds from the expiration of time before the game, and we get ready for kickoff here tonight between your Darlington Tigers and the Sonoraville Phoenix. Really looking forward to this matchup. We didn't get the opportunity last week to throw out some keys to the game, Ian, but I got a few of those, and one of them I'm really excited about because earlier this week when we were talking to Coach Groves just before the show, he started dropping Cobra Kai references.
He sure did.
And so I think one of the keys to the game, and a nod to Coach Groves and how much he apparently likes that, Karate Kid and Cobra Kai, that one of the keys to the game could be strike first, strike hard. How about that?
No
You want to
mercy,
get out there and get after it and lay down the gas and not let up.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Matt. If they can get out to a lead, Darlington's done that over the last few seasons. They were able to strike first last week. It's always good to draw first blood.
No doubt about it. Of course, you always want to win the battle up front. That can be a key to the game every single week. And then one of the things that the Tigers always do well on defense, fly to the ball on defense and force turnovers. When you look at the storyline of the game last week, a couple of turnovers definitely had a lot to do with the outcome of that game.
Yeah, clean slate for Darlington, more importantly. You don't want to cough it up, but forcing those turnovers on defense made a huge difference last week. I mean, that game was very tight in the early third quarter, but that was when Darlington made a few plays and was able to separate and kind of coast to victory and get some other guys playing time, which is always a good thing early in the season.
Last meeting between these two teams, Ian, it was last year. You'll remember that game. We went up there, and Darlington won the game 45-22 at Sonoraville, jumped to a big lead, and of course Sonoraville made a valiant attempt at a comeback, but the hole was too big, and Darlington was able to win that one pretty handily. And to make it even better, we went to Buc-ee's on the way there and on the way home. And I won't mention that name again as we go along throughout the broadcast, but since we're broadcasting that game again, I have to mention it.
But I think you're going to pass it on the way to Christian Heritage next week, aren't you?
That's a good point. No, I'm actually not going to pass by. I'm going to stop for sure. No doubt
Both ways,
about
I'm
it.
Sure.
But we are about 3.5 minutes before the start of the game. The captains are making their way onto the field. So we'll go ahead and relay those to you. We'll start with the Darlington Tigers. You're going to have Talon Shirey, also Demarion Floyd. Also not playing tonight tonight, but out there as a captain is going to be McKay Rush. He has meant a lot to this team in the transition, to a different position this year, but unfortunately he got hurt during the summer. He's not ready to play just yet, but he's a captain tonight. And then Jack Chandler, and of course all of those guys Coach Groves has talked about extensively on his show the first couple of weeks of the season.
Yeah, it's tough to have a senior leader like that in a boot at the moment, but hopefully he'll be back and ready to start playing sooner than later. But always an honor to be a captain or a black shirt, which is a thing we learned about last week as well. So Coach Groves is finding creative ways to motivate his players, and it's just fun to see how he is putting his stamp on this program, Matt.
Donovan McDaniel, also Ty Brown, and Jackson Pate are the captains for Sonoraville and Neum. We're about to have the toss, so we'll see if we can catch that for you as the teams will make their grand entrance, and we'll get this thing kicked off and have game 2 of the regular season, a non-region tilt with the Darlington Tigers and the Sonoraville Phoenix on a very, very hot night here tonight, and probably just about everywhere on the planet, I'm guessing. My goodness.
It's a steamy one. No doubt about it.
And last week, the toss was won by the visiting team, the Warriors, and they would defer to the second half. So we got to look at that Darlington offense, and they scored on the first possession of the football game. This time, the toss is going to be won by the visiting Sonoraville Phoenix, and they defer to the second half. So we've got a similar fate in terms of the coin toss as occurred last weekend.
And that's my favorite move. When I'm playing Madden, I always defer, man. You kick off, let the defense set the tone, see if you can get an extra possession at the end of the first half, get a little separation. So we've had the same fate on the coin toss the first 2 weeks of the season, and the Darlington offense will take the field, see if they can march down and do what you said, strike first.
Strike fast. No mercy. All right, folks. Well, we're about to have kickoff. Let's step out for a 1-minute timeout. 1 minute timeout. We'll be back for the kickoff in just moments. Well, we're back with you just in time to let you know what's going on as the Tigers are about to make their grand entrance. Leading the way is going to be Sammy Konchesky. He's got the American flag. He's waving it. The Darlington Tigers are rocking back and forth. And here come the Tigers, ladies and gentlemen, dressed in their purple jerseys and pants. And, of course, those white helmets with the Tiger paws in purple. They're looking good tonight, Ian.
No doubt about it. Fresh pressed, looking like $1 million here in front of the home Hawaiian-clad fans at Chris Hunter Stadium. And this Tigers team is hungry to go to 2-0, Matt.
Want to recognize the crew working the game tonight. Lynn Butler back at the studio at Command Central, if you will. Ian Griffin alongside Matt Davis to bring you the play-by-play action. If you're watching the video, press box cameras, you got Thomas Patterson and Benton Potts. Director tonight is Mike Garrett. Replay Nathan Patterson. Graphics and stats, David Corbett. He's sitting right next to us tonight. And we're about ready to go. The kicker for Sonoraville, by the way, his name is Mateo Trujillo. And last week, every time he kicked the ball, it went into the end zone. So he'll make you go 80 yards every time, apparently. So he's going to tee it up, and we'll get this thing underway. Talon Shirey Ian is going to be back deep here to attempt to return the kick. That is if he gets a shot with the big leg from Mateo out there. So we'll see what happens. But the ball's at the 40, 12 minutes on the clock, and we are just about ready to go here from Chris Hunter Stadium on a hot night. And ladies and gentlemen, it's Tiger time. As we get ready for Mateo to run to the football, he's on his way now, makes his trot towards. Toe meets leather. We're underway. Ball's end over end's going to drop in. Talon Showery's got a shot. He's got the ball, stays up, and he's going to be brought down at about the 23-yard line, and that's where the Tigers are going to set up shop.
And they went with the intentional short high kick and got down there and covered it. And that's just as effective as kicking out of the back of the end zone. And when you've got a weapon like Talon Showery back there who can take it to the house, I don't blame them for implementing that strategy.
No question about it. Now the Tigers are going to go roll to the line of scrimmage. Sammy Konchesky at quarterback. Tony, his father, almost had a little slip there. Shotgun formation, going to have 3 wide to the near side, working right to left. Tigers will take the ball. Sammy Konchesky's going to run on the first play. Nice stiff arm, gets around the line of scrimmage, stays up, and he gashes him for 8 or 9 yards in. Great play to start the ball game.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a little quarterback keep off tackle there, and Konchesky got around the edge and was able to cut it upfield. See where they marked the ball. I think it was about a 7-yard gain from where he went down, and we've got a flag. So first penalty of the game here, Matt.
Indeed, so we'll check on this. Hadn't seen the officials call on this one just yet, but we're looking for it.
It looks like a spot foul. Oh, wait, no, they've gone back to the original line of scrimmage here.
So that'll be a 10-yard penalty against the Tigers. And that's going to set up a 1st and 21, and now the ball's going to be backed up to around the 12-yard line. So what looked like was going to be a real positive play to start the game ends up in a big loss because of the penalty. Going to have 4 wide set, 2 on each side. Sammy Konchesky's going to have Demarion Floyd in the backfield with him, working right to left. Got to gain some ground here. There's the snap. Going to hand it off. That was actually Miles Twyman in the backfield. He's going to be brought down after a short gain.
Yeah, about 3 yards there. Operating behind the chains, Twyman had a great week last week, eclipsing 100 yards, 9 carries for 107 for that young man on his birthday. We'll see if he can back up that performance, but getting the rock early here.
So now we get ready for the Tigers to come back to the line of scrimmage. 10:53 left to go in the game. Ball at the 15-yard line. Man goes in motion. They're going to fake the handoff to the motion man. Going to pass it to the near side to Miles Twyman, who came out of the backfield, and he stays up, breaks a couple of tackles, and comes up with a short game. Great effort there, but not a lot doing on that play.
Yeah, that was all Twyman. He had to make 3 guys miss to get upfield and gain 4 yards. It'll be 3rd and 14 for the Tigers here from their 20, or I guess that's the 19-yard line, where the ball sits.
So 3rd down, as you mentioned, from the 19-yard line with 14 to go. 10:15 left to go in the first quarter. First drive of the game, first possession of the game. There's the snap. Sammy drops back. He's going to throw the ball to Talon Showery up the middle of the field, and he spins around. Nice move. Stays up. First down. He's on the move. He's across midfield. Nobody's going to get him. He's on the run. The 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Nobody can catch him. Gone. Touchdown. Big-time play. My goodness. That was 81 yards.
81 yards to the house. A little tunnel screen. They went to that on 3rd and long a lot last week. But when you get your playmakers the ball in space, good things can happen when you've got guys like Talon Showery, who made a few guys miss. And by the time he reached the Darlington 40, it was apparent he was taking that one to the house.
There was no doubt. Well, Hendricks Jones on to tack on the extra point here with 9:54 left to go in the first quarter. Darlington strikes first blood here in this football game.
Strike hard, strike fast, no mercy, Tigers.
So Hendricks Jones out there. Sammy Konchesky will handle the hold. Here comes the snap, and the ball's on the way, and that one's going to be through. So the score moves to 7-0 with 9:54 left to go in the first quarter.
And what an impress! I mean, it looked like they were going to end up going 3 and out and having to punt that one away after the penalty on the first play from scrimmage. Picked up, meager yards on the first 2 plays, but they go to the tunnel screen, and Talon Showery, he scored the first touchdown of the Wayne Groves era last week. He's opened the game with the first touchdown this week. maybe he wants some cupcakes.
Perhaps he does. Our first Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game last week was Sammy Konchesky, who absolutely lit it up. He had an electric first game as a starter this year, didn't he, Ian?
Yeah, absolutely. Just very accurate through the air. 13 of 17 last week for 171 yards and a touchdown, and then he piles on 13 carries for 94 yards and 3 touchdowns. So heck of a first start for Sammy Konchesky.
Of course, one of the things we asked Coach Groves about on his program earlier this week was, what were the things, your takeaways, things you were pleased with, things that need work, all those sorts of things. And one of the things that really stood out to us was how much he talked about the effort that he got from every single player on the team. He said he went to look at film and couldn't find any guys that weren't giving 100% the whole game.
Yeah, and that 23 players made a tackle last week, and this is a 50-man roster, so almost half the team registered a tackle in the opening game.
Back deep for Sonoraville is going to be Wyatt Key. They're going to be working from left to right. Hendricks Jones to boot it away. That's going to be a squib down the middle. It'll be picked up at the 20 and brought out. A man is going to run, cut up towards the middle of the field. I believe that was number 9, Ashton Suggs, the junior, who brings it out across the 35 to about the 36. So they're going to have good field position to start the game.
Yeah, they are, Matt. The squib kick was mishandled, but he found a seam. Had a pretty good return. I'm waiting to see where they're going to mark this ball.
It's like the 40.
Nose of the football is on the 40-yard line, so that's where the Phoenix will take over for their first possession. And Jackson Pate, coach's son, comes out, a senior, heck of a player.
And we saw him last year. He can certainly throw the ball. He's got some good targets, and he can also run, so he's a dangerous weapon, no doubt. There's the snap to Pate. He's going to hand it off immediately. They find a seam up the middle and get it almost across midfield on the first play. Wyatt Key, who is one of the favorite running backs here for the Sonoraville Phoenix, comes up with a big run to get things started. Gets a first down.
Ashton Albers registered the tackle there for Darlington.
Now he's going to be short by about a yard, so he got down to about the 49-yard line. Key did. Shotgun formation, one wide receiver on each side. There's the snap, going to fake the handoff, run to the near side. He cuts inside, now back out to the outside. On the 30-yard line he is, 20, 10, 5, gone. Nobody can catch up with Jackson Pate, the quarterback, and they strike fast.
Yeah, they absolutely did, to the house, Jackson Payton. And he did a little stop-and-go move on Aiden Davis there and turned on the Jets. Davis had the angle, but he played for the cut back there, and then Pate was able to hit the gas again and make it to the end zone. So was that there's a flag, Matt. There is a flag on the play.
Well, we'll mark that out of the score sheet then.
That's right. Fun to watch, but it didn't count.
No doubt. So no points on the board here for the Sonoraville Phoenix, as that one is coming back after the flag.
And was that a 51-yard touchdown run that now doesn't count?
Yep.
Okay.
So we'll mark that off the sheet.
And that is huge right there. It looked like the Phoenix, Darlington scored in 3 plays. They were going to score in 2. Anything you can do, we can do better. But now they're back behind the chains, 2nd and 11, where they will take their second snap.
2 wide receivers to the near side, one on the far side, working left to right. Jackson Pate lines him up, drops, going to throw it, and connects with a receiver on the outside on the left side, and he connects and gets a good chunk of yards. I believe the receiver on that play, Ian, was Keegan Townsend, one of his favorite targets.
Yeah, number 14.
And Keegan had some big plays last week against Pickens. He had a 69-yard touchdown catch and also a 40-yard grab that set them up for another touchdown in that football game. 8:50 left to go here in the first quarter. Jackson Pate lines them up, this time in a shotgun formation. Wide receiver on each side, got a sniffer back in there. There's the snap, going to hand it off to Key. He bounces off to the left side. He's got some room to run down at the 40. He's at the 30, and he gets upended over on the sideline, saving a touchdown perhaps. So a good save there over on the sidelines, Ian, but that was a good run there for the Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, that just wiggled to the outside there by Wyatt Key, had a big hole, and then there was great blocking downfield. It was Keegan Townsend that was blocking Aiden Davis, but Davis did a great job, getting off that block and making the tackle. He saved the touchdown, no doubt about it.
So now the ball is going to be at the 24-yard line. The Phoenix come back to the line of scrimmage now, knocking on the door of the red zone with a fresh set of downs. They're going to line up with Ty Brown in the backfield, the senior running back, with the quarterback, Jackson Pate. And Pate gets ready to take the snap with 4 wide receivers. He'll drop back, looking to throw, fakes, and he's going to put the ball up the middle of the field to an open receiver who has got green grass into the end zone. So another big play here for the Phoenix, and this one results in a touchdown. I believe it was, a 24-yard play?
24-yard touchdown, and was that, what was the number? Number 6? Cayman Reynolds.
Yep.
On the score. And that time Pate dropped back to pass, and Darlington put on a little pressure. Pate stepped up in the pocket, was patient, shows how a senior quarterback manages the offense, just steps up, finds his target streaking across the field, and he went in untouched.
And as we talked about in the pregame with these two teams' offenses, you kind of felt like we had potential of a shootout. And in the first few minutes of the game, it looks like that may be what we get. We'll see.
Yeah, scoring drives of 3 plays for Darlington and 4 for the Phoenix. Both teams had a penalty that put them back behind the sticks, but they were able to overcome that and go down the field and score opening touchdowns. So we are all knotted up at 7 here at Chris Hunter Stadium. We said it was going to be a barn burner.
Yeah, no doubt. And Mateo Trujillo, by the way, is the man that was responsible for tacking on the extra point there for Sonoraville. And as you say, we're knotted up at 7 apiece with 7:56 left to go in a really exciting first few minutes of football.
Yeah, we're barely 4 minutes into this game. So it's lighting up the scoreboard. They're going to keep everybody busy down there. Have we had a train yet? I don't think so. Not an official train. We had 2 pregame trains.
I haven't noticed it, but
I'm trying to improve my train game.
Me too, man. Me too. I do want to let you know some programming notes radio-wise tonight. Of course, we're going to have the Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show with Lynn and Austin Butler after tonight's action, and they'll shut things down at 11:30 tonight, and we're going to join the Braves in progress. They're out in San Francisco taking on the Giants, so they've got a 10:15 first pitch. So depending on how the game's flowing, we only may miss a few innings of that game, so you may get a lot of Braves baseball tonight if you want to stay up and listen.
Yeah, that West Coast trip makes it convenient for us to go catch the game.
Trio puts the boot on the ball. That one's going to be end over end. Drops in at about the 10-yard line just in front of it. Talon Showery's going to field the ball, brings it out, runs out to the far side. He's still up, goes to the sidelines, and is brought out of bounds at about the 28. We'll see where they spot it, but a pretty good pickup there for Talon.
Yeah, that one was still a high kick, but it was a little deeper, giving Showery a little more space to find a crease, and he almost took that one to the house. Made a nice cut, made 2 guys miss before he was brought down. I think just shy of the 30, so they'll start at the 29.
So Darlington at their own 29, working right to left. Well, get personnel out there on the field and get ready for this next possession with the game knotted up at 7 apiece with 7:49 remaining in the opening quarter of the ball game. Coming off the field is going to be Jake Trebus, so they changed the package just a little bit before we get ready for the play. 3 wide receivers to the near side. There's the snap. They're going to turn, hand it off, and it looks like Miles Twyman is going to be brought down for a loss.
Yeah, that was the same play they ran on the first drive, and Sonoraville was up to the challenge, and that's going to be a loss of 4, or a long 3.
So clock ticking here in the first quarter. Both teams with 7 points scored on the opening drives of the game. Shotgun formation, 2 wide on the near side. We get ready for Sammy Konchesky to take the snap. He's got the ball in his hands. Will turn, hands it off to Miles Twyman, and they clog up the running lane very quickly and bring him down quick.
Man, there was nowhere to run for Miles Twyman. He tried to make a miss, but nothing going. Sonoraville's doing a great job of getting penetration and pushing Darlington back and not giving these backs any running lanes.
Jake Trebus back out on the field for the Tigers for this package in. 6:49 left to go in the first quarter. This is going to bring up 3rd down and 15 with the ball on the 24-yard line here for the Tigers. And, of course, they made some big things happen on 3rd down and long.
They did.
On their last possession. So, trips to the near side. Sammy Konchesky getting ready to take the snap. Ball's in his hands. He'll drop back 3 steps, puts the ball in the air. Good ball to Miles Twyman. He's running down the sidelines, and they're going to haul him out of bounds. Ball comes out, but he was out of bounds. Another big play for this big play Tigers team.
Beautifully executed wheel route there by the Tigers. You saw Twyman. He went out looking like he's going out for a little swing pass. Hit that wheel route. It was wide open. A dime from Konchesky. 3rd and 14, they hit an 81-yard touchdown. This wasn't quite that great, but you'll take that kind of pickup all day long. What is that, about a 50-yarder for Twyman down the sidelines? So that's a great pickup on 3rd and long. 2 for 2 on 3rd down for the Tigers.
So the Tigers are in business with 1st and 10. Now they're on the other side of the field. Flip the field on that play. They got it on the 24-yard line. Twyman in the backfield here with Sammy Konchesky. He's got 2 wide to the far side, 1 on the near. Konchesky takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Twyman. And it's a reverse. It's a trick play. Sammy Konchesky throws to the end zone and connects. Oh, my goodness. A great pass by Sammy Konchesky and catch by Aiden Davis on the trick play. Tell us all that transpired there on that play.
Double reverse, Matt, right there. The pitch to Twyman. He pitches it back to Jake Trebus, who tosses it back to Sammy Konchesky, and he finds Aiden Davis. And the coverage was actually pretty good because there was some pressure from Sonoraville on that play. They almost blew it up, but Konchesky delivers the pass on time, and Aiden Davis hauls it in for a touchdown. That's 2 touchdowns. Sammy Konchesky is a 3-for-3, ladies and gentlemen, with 2 TDs.
Extra points on the way. That one's going to be wide right. Can't connect there, and the score remains 13-7. That was a 24-yard pass play. Again, on the double reverse pass from Konchesky to Aiden Davis, who was open in the end zone, made a nice grab and a great pass by Sammy Konchesky. And as you pointed out, perfect execution for the Darlington Tigers on the trick play. Well timed.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's not every week you get to see a double reverse flea flicker for a touchdown. So loving it, man. Just out there riverboat gambling, Coach Groves. Do your thing.
So the Tigers strike again. The score is 13-7. We'll get ready for the Tigers to kick the ball back to the Sonoraville Phoenix, and this has been a really interesting start to this football game.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Man.
Lots of scoring on the table right now. Will it slow down? I guess we will find out when Sonoraville gets the ball back. 13-7 Tigers. Matt, they've had 7 snaps. They've scored 2 touchdowns.
Unbelievable. Want to take an opportunity, Ian, to thank our radio sponsors for helping us bring you live coverage of high school football on WLAQ tonight. Atrium Health Floyd, Avery Drugs, Embry Painting, a new one with us this year, Georgia Northwestern Technical College, Harbin Clinic, Honeymoon Bakery, and the icing on the cake player of the game, which we'll have for you at the end of tonight's action, Riverside Auto Group, Rome Orthopedic Center, and Ware Mechanical. We appreciate you all.
Couldn't do it without you.
Definitely not.
Well, Matt, is your chin strap buckled? Did you forget to put it on? I mean, this has happened really fast. It's 13-7.
Yeah, if Steve Conrad were here, he would have said that right as we were getting ready to kick off the game, but I know he's watching or listening at home because he's been texting me over the last little bit. And we appreciate you, Steve, man. It was good to hear from you this week. I referenced his dog, Walter, and so he sent me some funny pictures of Walter in action. I guess it was yesterday.
And what kind of dog is Walter?
He is a beagle.
Okay.
I also have a beagle, and I've got a German short-haired pointer as well. What a mix of personalities we have at our house. Hendricks Jones has got it teed up at the 40. Ball is on the way. That's going to be a line drive. Bounces off one of the players for Sonoraville, and he falls on it at about the 36-yard line. I don't think he was quite expecting that one to come his way.
No, I'm going to steal a term from Top Gun, but that thing had a flat spin on it off of Hendricks' boot, and it was hard to handle. And they are going to spot that at the 37-yard line, which is where the Phoenix will start their second possession.
High school football coverage for you tonight on WLAQ, and also the live stream provided by Darlington School and their YouTube channel. Also, I think Facebook and Twitter, they put that out everywhere. 3 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far. Pate has them lined up. He's going to hand it off to Key. He runs out to the outside. He's got a lot of green grass on the way. 2 men to beat now. He's at the 20. He gets down inside the 15 before they bring him down. Another big run for Wyatt Key and a flag.
Yes, there is a flag.
They'll likely bring this one back.
Another explosive play, but there's a hold, and that is the second such penalty on the Phoenix, and the second big play that will be marched back behind the line of scrimmage. And that's going to put them in 2nd and 20, Matt.
College football beginning to get cranked up this weekend. You got the game in Ireland with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and Navy. And then I'll be looking forward to watching the Jacksonville State Gamecocks take on UTEP in their introduction to Conference USA.
What time is that, guy? I know 2:30 is the kick for Notre Dame and Navy.
I believe it's 5:30 Eastern time, so it'll be about 100 degrees at kickoff time.
Nice.
Jackson Pate lines him up, 1st and 20 now, ball on the 27. He drops back looking to throw and puts it in the air. Good ball, nice spiral, and it's going to be over the head of the wide receiver, Keegan Townsend, just a little off the mark there, incomplete.
Yeah, and Pate would love to have that one back. He had time to eat a snack, maybe, get a little dessert afterwards, and he just put that one a little too far in front of his receiver.
Well, we've got a recommendation of a place that he can get dessert, but he won't win the prize on the radio tonight.
Yeah, you can still buy your cupcakes, but only Tigers give free cupcakes.
You know what I think I'm going to do for the next home game?
What's that?
I think I'm going to go by Honeymoon Bakery and grab a box of stuff and bring it up here for folks.
You should, and they need to make those electrolyte cupcakes. I'm telling you, pass that on.
Here's the snap on 2nd down. Going to be a quick pass to the outside on the left side of the formation, and he's brought down quickly. Great defense there, Ian, by the Tigers. I saw Miles Twyman in there. There might have been another number in there as well.
Yeah, just a quick out there, and they were trying to get their playmaker out in space, but Darlington had that well covered, and that puts Sonoraville in 3rd and 18. You got to get off the field. Darlington has managed to pick up 3rd and 14 and 3rd and 15. That will drive you crazy as a D coordinator.
Darlington leads this game 13-7, trying to get off the field on defense, pinning their ears back as we speak. 3rd and 18, ball on the 29-yard line. Here is the snap to Jackson Pate. He drops back, he's going to run the football. It's a quarterback draw. He's off to the races on the left side. They got a 1st down. He stays up. He's across midfield and gets to about the 45 or so before they haul him out of bounds. That was a good play call right there.
I mean, that's a senior quarterback too. He saw what he wanted and did not hesitate. He took off, got upfield, and converted on 3rd and 18. And like I said, that'll drive a D coordinator crazy. And Wayne Groves is a defensive man, so I know he's grinding his teeth right now.
No doubt. They're back to the line of scrimmage in a hurry. 2 wide receivers to the near side on a fresh set of downs. I thought that bounced up to the receiver.
Hopped.
It did.
That definitely hopped.
Yeah, he started running, hoping maybe the official
Fake it till you make it.
But yeah, that's always been my motto.
Right. I remember one of the coaches last week yelling at the player from the press box, don't admit that you did it.
Oh, my goodness.
It was a late procedure call on Christian Academy of Knoxville.
2nd and 10 from the Darlington 45. Sonoraville with the ball, trailing 13-7. Jackson Pate has them lined up. Going to have 2 wide receivers to the near side, a couple on the far side, working from left to right. Here's the snap. They're going to hand it to Key, kind of stutter steps and finds a very little bit of room, maybe got 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, Sam Twente was there just to drop him like a hammer. And they'll be in another 3rd and long. They picked up 3rd and 18. This one's not quite that long, but 3rd and 8.
Both teams generating big plays here in this football game here so far. We're under 4 minutes to play now in the first quarter. This game got started at 7:30. Last week we started at 7. Some games around the area start late tonight. I believe the Almerchi game starts at 8. I think Rome as well. 2 wide receivers to the near side, and we got a timeout. Let's burn one as well. Sure. 3:44 left to go here in the first quarter. 13-7, Darlington leads it, and we'll be back in 30 seconds. Welcome you back here to Chris Hunter Stadium. We're at the Lakeside tonight, bringing you Darlington football on a radio broadcast on WLAQ and also the Darlington School YouTube stream. We're glad to have you along with us tonight. I'm Matt Davis alongside Ian Griffin, and no place, either one of us, I feel pretty safe and saying for both of us we'd rather be on a Friday night than hanging out with the Tigers.
No, this is great. This is great. And the AC ain't bad either.
It isn't. And today's been one of those days where at least, at the radio station we've got a fairly new air conditioner that we got just a few years ago. And it's plenty big enough to keep it cool at the radio station, but it's had to work extra hard to keep up because I'll have it set on 71 and it'll be like 72,
Yeah, it's been a brutal week as far as the heat index, and that affects these young men and how they practice. We learned a lot about that from Coach Groves on the show on Wednesday.
But we've almost made it through an entire quarter and we hadn't seen a single cramp so far.
That's true.
Game, which says a lot for how these teams have hydrated throughout the week and conditioned. There's the snap. Jackson Pate hands it off. Key's got it. He runs to the near side this time, and they are ready and drop him. Number 23 on the tackle there, Noah Duggan. He had a bunch of tackles last week.
Yes, he did. Registered 11 tackles last week. He was all over the field. And this was kind of no man's land, and they tried to get the ball to Key, who has had a lot of success on the ground so far tonight. But that time, he couldn't get it past the line of scrimmage, actually lost a yard, and Sonoraville will have to punt this away. First punt of the night.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch the number on the punter here for the Phoenix. I hadn't seen him turn. I know there's a 2 there. We'll see if we can catch that in a minute. Talon Shire's going to drop back to around the 10-yard line. We get ready for the snap. Certainly everybody watching for a potential fake. There's the kick. That's going to go off the side of his foot and takes a nice Sonoraville roll, and they're going to pin the Tigers back to around the 4-yard line. That was a good punt there from Caden Brown.
Absolutely. Just a little rugby-style kick there. Good coverage downfield. We've got a flag as well. So if Darlington gets a hold, this could move it back to the 2-yard line. It'll be half the distance. We'll see what the call is here as the officials meet around the 30-yard line.
So what you got on the docket for the rest of the weekend after our Friday Night Lights action?
Well, got to do some housework, but going to make sure I get it done early so I can sit down in front of the TV and hopefully watch Navy shock your precious Irish tomorrow.
Come on, man.
you know I can't root for them. There's only one team I can root for the Irish against. They wear red and black.
They're going to be in Ireland, man.
I don't care.
The luck of the Irish in Ireland.
I care not.
Have you ever been to yes, you have been to a game at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
It's one of the best
I watched Navy beat them.
I
watched Navy beat them. It was great. It was fantastic.
But you got to admit, to see a game there, whether you like the team or not, is a
special
experience.
No, it's just like, I don't like the Yankees, but going to Yankee Stadium is a great experience. Yes, absolutely. Respect the tradition, no doubt about it.
We went to see him play just a cupcake, and it was a blowout. And it's the only time I can remember going to a game that was an absolute blowout where people didn't leave.
Right.
They were just soaking in the experience so much that they stayed.
So, Matt, the penalty was a face mask on Sonoraville. So instead of starting at the 4-yard line or the 5-yard line, I'm waiting to see where the official places it. Okay, so wow. All the way out to the 35-yard line.
So the Tigers will start this drive with 2:49 left to go here in the first quarter of the football game, leading at 13-7. And they're going to line up in a shotgun formation with 2 wide to the near side. Everybody on the line of scrimmage in tight otherwise. Twyman in the backfield. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off to Twyman. Runs up the middle, finds a little bit of a seam, and with a little extra effort there, picked up a few yards on that play. Helmet came off. A couple of guys here for the Phoenix on that play.
Yeah, not much room for Twyman on the ground tonight. The Phoenix have done a really good job clogging up the running lanes, but Twyman made a good move there to get what he could, which was about 3 yards on the carry. And, Demarion Floyd was one of the captains, but it's been all Twyman so far in the first quarter. He has carried the load at running back.
Yeah, you stole the words right out of my mouth. I was about to say, who we haven't seen carry the ball yet, but we've got 2 wide in on the far side, a sniffer here on the near side of the formation, and here comes the snap. And following Miles Twyman is going to be the quarterback, Sammy Kincheski, and they're going to bring him down by his legs. So no gain on that play.
Yeah, quarterback power off, tackled there with Kincheski. And Ty Brown, a senior for the Phoenix, was all over that one. Didn't let Kincheski get those legs churning. Brought him down right there at the line of scrimmage.
So a couple of personnel changes here. Hendricks Jones out on the field. It looks like they're going to send Aiden Davis out for this package.
Caught a touchdown pass early in the game. Aiden did on trick play.
Third down's been magic so far for the Tigers. Can they do it again?
So 3rd and 7. Here is the snap. Dropping back as Konchesky puts the ball in the air. Goes to Aiden Davis, and this time he's going to be dropped by number 21, Cam Burns. Do we see another flag?
We did see another flag. It's going to be a hold on the Tigers. The official's signaling it. So I imagine Sonoraville will decline this penalty, and the Tigers will be forced to punt. But they tried to hit a little screen out there to Davis, and that was well defended by Sonoraville.
Indeed it was. And the penalty, as you predicted, will be declined. And so, therefore, the Tigers will be forced to punt and will kick the ball back to the Sonoraville Phoenix. Couldn't get that drive off the ground.
No, they couldn't. And after an explosive start, we've seen 2 defensive stops here. The Tigers got one, and now the Phoenix have answered. Tigers had a chance to possibly separate a little bit, but they're going to have to punt it away, leading 13-7.
Talon Shirey stands at about the 21-yard line to punt it away. He's got the ball in his hands, kicks it in the air, and that will spiral down at around the 20. Takes a nice Darlington bounce and then goes out of bounds close to the 20.
Yeah, at 21.
So nice job there by Talon Shirey.
Very good punt. Nice spiral. And then it got the Tiger bounce when it hit.
Gotta love a nice Tiger bounce.
You do, absolutely. I mean, Tigger showed us how it's done.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
He was one of my favorite characters as a kid.
Hard not to like Tigger. I mean, everybody had a hyperactive friend, right?
Exactly. Shotgun formation. Jackson Pate will take the snap, turns, hands it off, and young man is running up the middle of the field. He's got a low center of gravity. Strong run there by Jaden Cruz.
Okay.
And he gets a good chunk of yards there on that play.
Yeah, nice run by Cruz. Good job following his blockers, making good decisions.
So they move the chains on the first play from scrimmage here on this drive with 1:04 left to go and the clock ticking. Winding down here in the first quarter. 2 wide receivers to the near side, a couple on the far. Jackson Pate's going to line them up. I believe he's got Key in the backfield with him. He'll drop back looking to throw and puts the ball in the air, and that's going to be incomplete. He had some company in the backfield.
He did. A little pressure there forced him to throw that one high, and that was an opportunity for the Tigers. They weren't able to make the pick, but he missed his receiver. And that'll set up a 2nd and 10 with 47.9 seconds left in the first quarter. It's been an exciting first quarter.
Very eventful. A lot of action taking place here in this game, and that certainly was the case last week. This Darlington football team is going to be a lot of fun to watch week in, week out throughout the season. No doubt about it.
Some big games coming up for them as well, but tonight it's all business.
2nd and 10. Here's the snap. They're going to hand the ball off to Key, and he's going to be dropped instantly. Great play there, Ian, by number 57, Luke Fox, the junior. I believe that's who that was.
I think is that
57?
Sam
No,
20.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
Sam 20. I was looking at the wrong roster. My bad.
Yeah, that's another good tackle. I think we're going to have a timeout here.
All right. Well, we're going to do the same thing. Oh, actually, time's winding down. I think they're going to not run another play here in the quarter. So time about to run out in the first quarter. And just to bring you up to speed, the Darlington Tigers lead at 13-7 over the Sonoraville Phoenix as time is running out here on the first quarter. And we're glad to have you with us on WLAQ. We're going to step out for 1 minute, and we'll return for the second quarter after these messages. Welcome back in at the Lakeside here at Chris Hunter Stadium. This is 3rd and 6, ball on the 37-yard line now. Sonoraville working from right to left. Here's the snap. Pate takes it, hands it off. They run to the outside, and he's going to be brought down after a gain of about 4 or 5 yards. I believe that was Ty Brown who carried the rock that time.
All right, and on consecutive drives, this Darlington defense is going to get a stop here, a 3-and-out this time. And this is 4th and uncomfortable, if you ask me. I'm sending my punter out, and it looks like Coach Pate will do the same thing. So we will see them punt it away. I got a couple of score updates for you.
What you got?
And I know Dave Corbin will be interested to know that it's the first quarter, and the Rome Wolves are already up 21-0.
Really?
Model
Wow.
is also up 6-0 in Lindale early first quarter.
So to punt it away here for the Sonoraville Phoenix, you got Caden Brown. Thanks for the update there, Ian.
No problem.
Courtesy of Rome Orthopedic Center. Here comes the kick. It is on the way. That'll be end over end, drops in, will be fielded by Talon Shirey, and they got on top of him quick, but he broke a tackle and is able to make his way outside across to around the 35-yard line.
Yeah, well covered there by the Phoenix. Let's see where they spot this ball. It will be the 35.
So 10:59 left to go here in the football game. We're trying to make some adjustments here. I got a text message from the matriarch of WLAQ, said my mic was a little low at times, so we're trying to make some adjustments on the fly. Let me know if we got it dialed in. I call her mom.
You sound great in my headset, but I know Sandy is delivering quality information.
Well, she's been around this for a long time,
Right,
so
right.
she knows what to look for sure. Shotgun formation. Sammy Konchesky get ready to take the snap. Man goes in motion. They're going to hand it to the motion man. That's going to be Talon Shirey trying to find some room to run. He cuts back towards the inside, and he dives forward and maybe gets a yard or two just because of a strong effort, but there really wasn't much there.
Yeah, just kind of a little jet sweep play there, and Shirey tried his best to find some wiggle room. Ended up picking up a yard when it was all said and done.
So that brings up second down here for the Tigers and 9 to go after a pickup of a yard. After a heck of a lot of running there.
And so far the passing game has been where Darlington's picked up their chunk plays.
4 wide receiver set. Twyman in the backfield here with Konchesky working left to right. There's the snap. Konchesky rolls back. He's going to throw one to Miles Twyman, and he's going to be wrapped up and brought down by a couple of guys here for the Sonoraville Phoenix. They're playing some pretty stout defense right now.
They are, absolutely. Konchesky made a quick decision to go to his check down there, hit Twyman out in the flat, and there just wasn't any room to operate. They lost 4 yards on the play, and that'll set up 3rd and 13. But, hey, that's been just what the doctors ordered. They've scored 2 touchdowns. Or not 2 touchdowns. They've hit 2 huge plays, a 50-yarder and an 81-yard play on 3rd and long.
I think Ty Brown was responsible for that tackle. 3 wide to the near side, 1 on the far side. Konchesky lines him up with 3rd and 13, ball on the 32. There's the snap. Gonna fake the handoff, drops back, looking to throws. Got company, has to bail out. Sammy Konchesky on the run. Great footwork, puts the ball in the air, and it's going to be incomplete. Extending his body, reaching out to grab it was Talon Shirey. He's frustrated because he felt like he had a shot at it. It would have been a great grab, but couldn't come up with it.
He did, and I tell you what, when they watch the tape back, Konchesky's going to regret not seeing Miles Twyman wide open just 10 yards down the field. He had lots of space to operate, but that was two receivers were in the area. You had Jake Trebus and Talon Shirey both going for that ball. Couldn't quite reel it in, and the Tigers will have to punt that one away. A great job by Konchesky just to extend the play. He had a lot of pressure on him and was able to cut back across the field and give the play a chance.
So Shirey on to punt the ball. Going to have a man back at the 45 here for Sonoraville. Puts a lot of air under that one, and it's going to drop in and rolls back. Will not be fielded and will be down at the 38-yard line. So that's where we're going to see the Phoenix set up shop. Looks like we got it dialed in, Ian, in terms of the balance between the microphones. Thank you.
I'm glad to know. We strive for excellence, always, right, man?
You can always count on your mom.
That's right.
To help you out. I can. I'm grateful for that, too. Very grateful.
Well, after a lot of scoring in a very short amount of time, we've settled into a little bit of a defensive struggle here as we edge forward in this second quarter. 9 minutes and 22 seconds left on the clock. 13-7 Tigers.
Shotgun formation here for the Phoenix. And we're going to have a stoppage of play.
Timeout.
Timeout. All right, let's take it as well. 9:22 left to go here in the first half. Darlington leads at 13-7. Sonoraville about to start their next drive. We're back in 30 seconds. Welcome you back in live at Chris Hunter Stadium, and the Darlington Tigers will run back out on defense. Right now it's going to be 1st and 10 with the ball on the 38-yard line for the Sonoraville Phoenix with 9:22 left to go in the second quarter of the football game. Pate lines him up in shotgun. He's going to hand it off. Key's got it, tries to run to the outside, and he's dropped. Good defensive play by the Tigers.
Ashton Albers came flying in from his safety position to make that tackle right at the line of scrimmage. Heck of a tackle there. And like I said, it looked like it was just going to be up and down the field for both these teams, but these defenses are starting to figure things out.
You know, one of the things I'll get to that after this play. It looks like Sonoraville is going to get to the line pretty quick. They're going to send 2 wide receivers to the near side, one on the far side. And Jackson Pate ready to take the snap, drops back on 2nd down and 10, and puts the ball in the air. That is going to be incomplete.
And he took a pop from Henry Ledbetter on that play, forcing him to throw that one a little long and high. But great defense there by number 18.
It's always great, Ian. What I was going to say just a couple of moments ago is when you get to see the former Tigers come back. And, of course, we saw Gatlin Hancock. We got to call his name a lot over the last several years. And he's here tonight, and he's up at Kennesaw State. And they actually converted him to a tight end. So that'll be interesting to see that when we see him out there playing for the Owls.
And they may be in the SEC before you know it with all this conference realignment, right? Or the ACC.
There's the snap to Jackson Pate. He'll put the ball in the air, and it sails over his intended receiver's head. That was Isaac Allen, or rather Keegan Townsend, and that brings up 4th down.
Yeah, nice defense here from the Tigers. That's 2 consecutive 3-and-outs.
So we've seen 4 punts in a row, 2 for each team.
Right.
And going back to talking about the Owls, they've got a fight song that says, "You don't want to go to war with the Owls."
I mean, I don't want to mess with those Talons, do you?
Made it to the NCAA tournament in basketball this year. That was super exciting.
They almost won, too.
They did.
Yeah, I picked them. So, of course, they didn't because...
Here's the punt, and that's going to drop in and roll all the way back to around the 27-yard line, and that's where it's going to be downed.
All right. Well, I was going to say of course they didn't win because I have never beaten Matt in the bracket challenge.
Well, you can say that today and feel okay about it because you got a 2-game lead in this week at Northwest Georgia Football Picks Challenge, and you beat me in the high school and the college football last year. So,
well, another scoring update that you'll like. It's early, but Rockmart is leading Cass 3-0.
Oh wow! I'd like to get one back. I'll admit.
Is that our only difference this week?
It is.
Okay.
So the best that can happen for me is to be a game behind, and you could be up 3 games by the end of the night. Here on Hawaiian night. Shotgun formation for the Tigers. 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line as they start this drive. There's a snap. Konchesky's going to run this one, runs it out to the outside, and he is cutting up towards the sidelines and is brought down at about 47-yard line, so gets a 1st down. Big run.
Absolutely. And that time it just opened up for Konchesky. He got up the sideline, cut back, picked up about 19 yards on that play. It's the most successful rushing play for the Tigers tonight.
So that brings up another 1st down. Ball at the 47-yard line as the Tigers get ready to line up. Still have not seen Demarion Floyd out there tonight.
Not. One of the captains, he's in his helmet and pads on the sideline, but
2 wide receivers on the far side for the Tigers. 1st and 10. Konchesky ready to take the snap. He's going to fake the handoff to Miles, runs up the middle, and he is greeted at the line of scrimmage with a pretty heavy hit.
Yeah, I mean, that was just excellent defense right up the middle there by Sonoraville. And they've done a good job holding there. And they got some big boys there on the defensive line, some big eaters, making it hard to push them back. But this Darlington offensive line has done a good job, especially in pass protection so far tonight.
Jake Trebus on for this package. Coming off the field right now for the Darlington Tigers is going to be Jaron Payne. Two wide receivers to the near side, one on the far side for the Tigers. 2nd down and 9. Dropping back is going to be Sammy Konchesky. Looking to throw. Now he's going to tuck and run. Couldn't find an open receiver, and he's going to scamper out of bounds at about midfield for a short pickup.
Yeah, didn't have his target open downfield and was forced out of the pocket, and actually did pretty well.
He got a little bit more than I thought he did.
Made a little shimmy right at the end of his run to stay in bounds, man. I'm watching the replay now. He cut inside and then hopped forward to pick up a few yards. So 3rd and 6 upcoming.
Score's 13-7 if you've just tuned in. 7:28 left to go here in the first half, so we're edging towards halftime. Closing in on the halfway mark of the second quarter of the ball game. Shotgun formation. Twyman in the backfield with Sammy Konchesky here for 3rd and 6. Ball at the 49-yard line. Dropping back as Konchesky's got company in the backfield. Gets a nice block, but that's going to be a hold, no doubt about it. And catching the pass is Aiden Davis, but again, there was a hold, which is one of the reasons why Konchesky was able to get that pass off.
Yeah, that one was blatant.
Or the reason.
That one was blatant. We'll be coming back. Did they rule it a completion, though? Guess it won't matter. It was at the line of scrimmage, so. And they did rule it a completion. So Darlington will get another crack at this. It's just going to be 3rd and 16 instead of 3rd and 6. Or am I wrong? Okay, looks like it was an incomplete pass. Penalty declined, and Darlington will have to punt this away. Okay.
All right, Sammy Konchesky still on the field for the Tigers. Coming out on the field is going to be Sam Wooten. Called his name quite a few times last week.
The Tigers going to roll the dice here on 4th and 6?
Looks like it.
Could have a pooch punt here, Matt. We did see that once last week.
And we're going to have a timeout called by Sonoraville. They want to talk this over. So we're going to do the same thing, take a timeout. 7:18 left to go first half. Darlington leads 13-7, and they've got 4th down and 6 and potential punt coming up. We'll be right back. Our buddy Steve, watching up in Charlotte, he's made some observations about Sonoraville, and some of the changes that they've been making on defense have really caused Darlington some trouble moving the football. Shotgun formation. We got 2 wide here on the near side, 1 on the far side. 4th down, and he jumps.
Yeah.
Man on the line here for Sonoraville jumps.
And I really think they were just going to do the pooch punt, but they went with the hard count there, and Sonoraville jumped. And now you've got a decision to make because it's 4th and 1. A lot different than 4th and 6. And here comes a different personnel package for 4th and short, as it looks like the Tigers will roll the dice.
One time when I was calling games for Model several years ago, Coach Powers asked me to be one of their honorary coaches for a spring game, and I told him, I said, we're rolling the dice. We're going for it every time. There's the snap. Konchesky's going to run the ball, leaps, and he's going to be short. Great effort, but he's going to be short, so that's going to be a turnover on downs.
Really good defense there by Sonoraville, and that spot is not even close. Are they moving the chains? Wow. First.
Really?
Down.
Wow.
Okay. All right. I stand corrected.
I do as well. We'll take it, right?
Yeah.
Good job. Sammy Konchesky leaps over and is able to get that first down and convert, we believe.
I mean, Denver Pate's out on the field arguing this.
Yeah.
I mean, based on where I saw him go down, it just looked like it looked like he was well short.
It looked like that.
But they are moving the chains.
Hey.
Done deal. Moving on from that. Darlington first down.
We've made a couple of changes in our score sheets
Yes,
tonight.
we have. I'm erasing the punt that I was scribbling down 5 minutes ago.
All right, it is 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Ball at the 43-yard line on the Phoenix side of the field. They're going to fake the handoff. Quarterback's going to run, finds a seam, stays up, and he's going to be dropped after about an 8-yard gain.
Great read by Konchesky. He waited till the last possible second to pull that ball from Twyman's belly and got upfield for a nice gain on first down, picking up 7 yards.
So the ball is at the 37-yard line now of the Phoenix side of the field. Darlington Tigers working from left to right, leading at 13-7. 6:22 left to go here in the first half as they get ready to come back to the line of scrimmage with 2 wide to the near side, 1 on the far side. Miles Twyman in the backfield with Sammy. Konchesky takes the snap. He rolls to his right, hands it off to Talon Shirey on a reverse, runs out to the far side. He finds a little room on the sidelines, and they pick up another first down. Nice play.
A little shake and shimmy there from Talon Shirey, as that was actually defended really well, but the big boy back there trying to catch him couldn't keep up with the juice in Shirey's legs, and he got upfield to pick up a Darlington first down, and the Tigers are in business with 6 minutes and 3 seconds left in the second quarter, and now at the 30-yard line.
Hendricks Jones out for this package. Also Aiden Davis on the far side. Going to have 2 wide receivers on the near side. You're going to have Talon Shirey in the slot, and then Jake Trebus here split wide to the near side. Miles Twyman in the backfield with Sammy Konchesky for first down from the 30. There's the snap. Going to fake the handoff. Sammy Konchesky on the run to the left side. Spins. Ball comes out. They dive for it. It goes out of bounds. Dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, and they'll spot that back. We'll go from being a gain to loss of about, I don't know, we'll see where they spot it. 3 yards. Fortunate to get that one back. And really, let's give Konchesky credit. I'm watching the replay here, but I'm pretty sure he got up and dove for that ball to knock it out of bounds. He had about a 5-yard gain, and it was just helmet on ball. And it was. Konchesky sprinted back and knocked that ball loose. Heads up play there by your starting QB.
2nd down and 12. 2 wide to the near side. A couple on the far side. Twyman in the backfield with Konchesky. We'll get ready for the snap. Ball's on the way. He'll drop back, looking to throw, puts it in the air, connects with Talon Shirey, turns, starts to cut up field, and he's going to be brought out of bounds after a nice gain.
Yeah, that's a nice throw there by Konchesky, just right in time. And that puts them in a position of 3rd and manageable. They pick up about 8 yards on that play.
So 3rd down for the Tigers and 4 to go with the ball at the 24-yard line on the Sonoraville Phoenix side of the field. They're going to have 2 wide on each side. Twyman in the backfield. Konchesky looks off to the sidelines, getting some signs. And we get ready for the next play.
9th play of the drive.
Konchesky takes the snap. He drops back, looks to throw, gets it out quick to Talon Shirey, who steps out of bounds.
That was right at the marker.
Yep.
Should be a first down. If the last one was, that one definitely should be.
Yeah, I think you're right. And it is. Yeah. They moved the chains. Yeah. So the Tigers are now going to have a fresh set of downs at the red zone. Nose of the ball sitting right on the 20 with 5 minutes and 3 seconds left here in the first half of play, and the Tigers leading at 13-7 here in game 2 of the season. A 1-0 start to the year for the Tigers after winning 48-24 last week. Here's the snap. Konchesky's going to hold the ball. He's going to pass it out the outside to Hendricks Jones. He got hit hard. Ball came out.
And they're going to rule that a catch and a fumble.
I think the Phoenix got it, yeah.
Wow.
Ball came out after the grab. The Phoenix came up with the ball. The Tigers felt like it should have been an incomplete pass, as you can tell some of the guys signaling.
I mean, you have to look at the football move, right? But there is no replay. So this is a big call. I didn't think he made a move. His feet landed. They are going to rule that an incomplete pass. I think that's the right call. I think it's the right call. No doubt about it.
One of the things that's going to be different, and we saw some of this in the Corky Kell this past weekend at the games that were at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, is instant replay being introduced to the championship games.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's too much to try to do that every Friday night, every place they have a game, but glad to see that they're going to be able to make that happen at Mercedes-Benz where the games will be this year, right?
Well, I have to say that great job by the officiating. They got that one right.
Oh, absolutely. They're doing a fantastic job out there. All right, so the Tigers have got 2nd down and 10. Ball is at the 20-yard line. They'll get ready to snap the ball. Konchesky takes it. He drops back looking to throw. Pump fakes. Now he's going to cut towards his right. Puts the ball in the air and out of bounds. He throws that one away.
Yeah, got that one. They brought pressure off the edge on that play, and Konchesky was in trouble early. No time for his receivers to get downfield and get open. So he just had to chuck that one in the cheap seats and live to fight another play. 3rd and 10 upcoming. 11-play drive. This one started all the way back at the Darlington 27. And it looks like we're going to have a timeout.
All right. We're going to take one as well. Glad to have you with us tonight. Live coverage on WLAQ and the Darlington YouTube stream. Let's step out for a 30-second timeout. All right, here we go, folks. Tigers at the line of scrimmage, 3rd and 10. There's the snap. Dropping back is Sammy Konchesky looking to put it in the air. Can't find anybody open. One man breaks free, and they put it in the air. It's going to be incomplete. And he was pretty well covered.
There's going to be a hold anyway on that play. And they may choose to back him up. I mean, this is kind of no man's land for Darlington. We haven't seen Hendricks Jones attempt a field goal yet this season. We've seen him kick some extra points. I'm not sure what his range is. So Sonoraville may take this penalty to back Darlington up, and it looks like they will. More often than not on 3rd down, if you have an incomplete pass, you're going to decline that. Did they decline?
They declined it.
Okay, so it'll be 4th and 10.
So the penalty is declined, and the Tigers will come back to the line of scrimmage here with 4th and 10 with the ball at the 20-yard line.
And they will stay on the field. They are 1 for 1 on 4th down conversions. Sammy Konchesky picked one up earlier this drive. This will be the 13th play of this Tiger drive.
So Sammy's going to line them up here with 4th and 10, again from the 20. Standing right there at the red zone. Shotgun formation, trips to the far side. Sammy looks off to the sidelines. And we're going to have another timeout.
Good timeout here by the Tigers.
We'll take it as well. 13-7, Darlington leads at 4:32 left. Big 4th down coming up after 30-second break. And we're back at Chris Hunter Stadium at the Lakeside. Tigers lead at 13-7. They got 4th and 10 in from the 20 coming up when we resume play.
And this drive started all the way back at the 27-yard line of Darlington, and they have marched it down the field. They've converted on 1 4th down, and they're going to try to do it again. 4th and 10 from the 20-yard line.
two wide receivers on the far side. You're going to have Davis and Jones, and then Talon Shirey and Jake Trebus here on the near side. In the backfield's Miles Twyman with Sammy Konchesky for 4th and 10 from the 20. Dropping back is Sammy, and they're trying to get to him. Got some company in the backfield. Flag comes in. Sammy running around trying to get the ball to somebody, and he's got 4 Sonoraville Phoenix chasing around, and they can't get to him. Ball is going to be picked off by Jackson Pate. A heavy hit he'll take. Helmet comes off. Another flag comes in. So an interesting sequence there.
That could be targeting. I don't know. I'll have to see the hit again. Definitely, the boom got lowered on Jackson Pate, and Konchesky was just trying to keep the play off. It's 4th down. Nothing wrong with taking a shot there. Fortunate that it wasn't returned for a touchdown, but. Let's see if I'm watching the replay here as Konchesky just kept extending the play. Okay, so no penalty on the hit. It was a clean hit.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Sonoraville Phoenix after Jackson Pate, who is also their starting quarterback, picks off the pass. And now they're going to have the football at the 28-yard line.
So that drive went 13 plays and across the field, but did not yield any points for the Tigers.
3 wide set, 2 on the near side, 1 on the far. Trouble with the snap there. Ball ends up on the turf, and I think
Pate got back on it. Yeah.
I thought, man, that would be a turn of events to get it right back on the next play.
Yep.
Almost happened, but like you say, Pate got it, and Sonoraville dodges a bullet there.
Backs them up 5 yards, though. Tigers would love to get the ball back with a chance to score before halftime.
2 wide to the near side, 1 on the far side here for 2nd down and 15. Pate takes the snap. He drops back. He's got a pretty clean pocket. He will now can't find anybody open, puts the ball in the air, connects with the receiver, and he is going to be brought out of bounds at the 25-yard line. So a big-time play right there for the Sonoraville Phoenix. Coming up with that grab is going to be Elijah Woods.
Yeah, great job there by Jackson Pate, extending the play, moving his feet in the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield, and firing an absolute dart to his receiver for a big gain.
So now the ball is going to be on the 24-yard line on the other side of the field. And Sonoraville threatens to get it into the red zone here after a big-time play right there. So 13-7 is the lead for Darlington, but that lead is in jeopardy right now as Jackson Pate lines him up with 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line over on Darlington's side of the field. Key in the backfield with him. There's the snap. Pate rolling to his right. He's got company in the backfield. He's going to cut back inside. Now he's running down the sidelines to the 10, and he goes out of bounds right about there. So I think they're going to have the ball about the 10-yard line, Ian.
Yeah, and they were trying to set up a throwback there, and Pate ended up just cutting it back to the other direction and picking up a good chunk of yards on the ground, about 20 yards. Or no, 10 yards. Looked like he ran a lot further than that.
Yeah, it really did. That was a great run. So that brings up 2nd and about 1. And ball's now on the 15-yard line here for the Phoenix. Pate lines him up 2 wide on each side of the formation. He's got Key in the backfield. Pate ready to take the snap here from the 15. He drops back, looking to throw towards the end zone, connects with the receiver, and he is going to spin into the end zone for a Sonoraville touchdown. That was Slade West making the grab. Nice job by the Phoenix. It was a 15-yard touchdown pass to Slade West from Jackson Pate.
And the Phoenix will have a chance to take their first lead of the ball game if they can convert the PAT. What a swing and momentum.
Indeed, and you got Mateo Trujillo out there to attempt the extra point. And as you mentioned, if he tacks this on, they've got the lead. Kick is on the way, got plenty of leg, and it is no good. The extra point is missed, and the score remains tied in 13-13.
And I think it was Shirey that came flying in that almost blocked that and might have forced him to push that ball. I saw a Tiger flying in off the edge there and just go full-on eagle fang after that thing. And hopefully that was what forced it. So we'll remain tied here. And let's not forget, Sonoraville won the toss and deferred to the second half, so they will receive the opening kickoff in the third quarter. So Darlington would love to go down and get points before the half and not allow Sonoraville another opportunity since they get the ball to start the second half. Darlington has 2 timeouts left to Sonoraville's 1. And they have had success on offense. The last drive was a long one. It just didn't yield any points. But we've definitely seen this chess match between Denver Pate and Wayne Groves unfold before our eyes as the defensive adjustments have been apparent as this game has gone on.
No doubt about it. And Ian, just so everybody knows out there in the listening area, the temperature's cooled down a little bit. We started off, it was about 99 degrees at game time. According to AccuWeather, we've cooled off to 95. Wow.
A nice chilly 95.
Yes.
Here in North Georgia.
So Mateo to kick it off here for the Sonoraville Phoenix. Going to have Talon Shire deep here for the Tigers, standing around the 5-yard line. Here is the kick. That one will be in over in, drops in. Shire fields it. He goes off to the left side, and we got a whistle. This one's going to be blown dead.
I'm a little confused, but I guess they'll sort this out.
All right, we're getting some Star Wars from the band over here, man.
Wonder if one of the Sonoraville players left a little early. He might back this up 5 yards and kick it again.
Yeah. Yep, that's exactly what happened. You were right. So, as Yogi Berra said, it's like deja vu all over again, except for in this case, a little bit further back. So we're going to get to see this one again here in just a couple of moments. We're not quite at halftime. 3:14 left on the clock here in the second quarter. We're knotted up at 13 apiece. And we get ready for Mateo Trujillo to kick it off again. And last week's game against Pickens, he kicked it into the end zone for 4 touchbacks. We hadn't seen that in this game. A little different approach. Here's the kick. That one's going to be end over end. It's going to drop in, fielded by Talon Shirey. He brings it out from around the 15-yard line, trying to find some room to run. Nice spin move. And he is going to bring it out. We got another flag that just came in, Ian, here on this side.
Not sure what the call will be. We've seen a face mask on a kickoff return already, or on a punt.
Another flag over here.
And waiting on the call.
We got some good games going tonight. We just got an update.
Block in the back.
A block in the back. Yeah. Jeff Gable just sent a text. He's over there covering the model game against Pepperell down there in Lindale. They're tied at 6 apiece at halftime.
Oh, my. You know that atmosphere is rowdy.
Yeah. Been some close games the last couple of years.
And Pepperell has been on the winning end of a lot of those. So the model fans would love to leave Lindale with a W.
Yeah, Pepperell's won the last 7, and the last time that Model won a game over there was when Gordon Powers was the coach, and he's here tonight. He came up to the press box and chatted with us for a couple of moments before the game.
He's going to be sitting to your left next week.
Indeed. Ian's going to be doing a little bit of traveling, so Gordon Powers has agreed to come in and fill in, and his comment to me is, man, Ian's good. I got some big shoes to fill.
Shoot.
Rome is up, by the way, 42-0. No surprise there.
All right, that shutout's intact.
Yeah. Well, they win 34-0 last week.
Yeah.
And now they're up 42-0.
I have a feeling they won't shut Carrollton out next week.
We got a Lithonia alum sitting next to us. I'm sure he doesn't enjoy that fact necessarily, but still getting things sorted out here on the field, Ian.
Where do they start this thing? The 25.
Yep.
Okay.
So the Tigers now on the 25 with 3:04 left to go. 1st and 10. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off. Miles Twyman on the delayed handoff, and he cuts towards the near side of the field. Nice run. He's at the 40. He's across the 45 as he's tripped up. A big-time play there from Miles Twyman, who has done a great job, had over 100 yards last week.
Yeah, no doubt. Best run of the night for Twyman. He had a great catch on a wheel route earlier. He's run hard tonight. Sonoraville's just been playing great defense against the run. But credit credit to Hendricks Jones on that play. He was in a position where he could have easily blocked in the back, and he held up. I mean, it's hard to do when you're trying to free your teammate up and give him some space, but he laid off, and Twyman was able to make the move and get upfield for a big gain.
As they say, the destiny's in the details, and that's certainly something that the Tigers focus a lot on. Shotgun formation. Sammy Konchesky is going to turn, hand it off to Miles Twyman. He's got the rock. He's down to 40-yard line, and he picks up about 13 yards on that play. 2 big runs from Miles.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let that young man eat. He's ready. He wants the rock.
You saw some flashes from him last year, but, boy, he has really developed in the
Bulked
offseason of this
too.
season. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. That Grove strength and conditioning program has gotten on him, huh?
Yeah, he don't mess around with that, does he? 2 wide receivers on the near side, 1 on the far side. The one on the far side is Aiden Davis. Sammy Konchesky lines them up with a fresh set of downs. They're going to have a sniffer in there on the far side. There's the snap. They're going to fake the handoff. Konchesky's going to run, and he cuts inside to the near sidelines and is down to about the 30. And he got close to moving the chains again. I think he might be a little short. What do you think?
It's close. Yeah, second down.
Yep. So he got about 8 yards, 9 yards on that play.
Yeah, but I mean, 3 runs, and Darlington's back in position to get some points here with 1:52. They've got 2 timeouts left, 2nd and 1.
3 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. Konchesky lines up with Miles Twyman in the backfield here with 2nd and 1 from the 31-yard line. Dropping back, puts the ball in the air, and it bounces off of Talon Shire's hands. Thankfully, nobody was in the vicinity to make the grab there. That was dangerous.
It was. Shire, it just deflected off of his hands as he tried to go up and make the grab. And that ball, God, when it bounces like that, it seems like it's up there for an eternity, doesn't it?
It really, truly does.
And that, had somebody been able to run under that one, they would have had nothing but daylight in front of them. So 3rd and 1 here for the Tigers.
Henry Ledbetter runs out for this package, lines up at the tight end spot on the far side of the formation. And there's the snap. Konchesky's going to run this one, and he is dropped quick. And he is, I think, going to be short there, Ian.
It'll depend on the spot. That's not a bad spot.
Ty Brown with the stop there.
Short. Yeah.
No gain.
So tonight, when it comes to just needing the yard and having to get it, Sonoraville's done a good job of greeting the Tigers right there at the line of scrimmage. And this is where, as a coach, we got to go get this yard, right? Right. So they're going to line it up, 4th and 1. Power form here.
Going to send 2 wide to the far side, and the flag comes in immediately.
Oh, man. Coach is hot about that one. Substitution, so they have 12 guys on the field. Broke the huddle with 12. Whew. And those penalties will eat you alive. I still think the Tigers are going to go for it here.
Oh, I agree. Same personnel grouping on the field at this point.
But they may let this clock wind down as the clock is rolling, Matt, and you don't want to give Sonoraville a lot of time if you don't convert here.
They're going to send 2 wide to the far side, 1 on the near. Konchesky lines them up, and a pistol look. He gets ready to take the snap, and a man jumps. They gave him those yards right back.
Yes, they did. Man, the hard count has worked on 4th and 6 twice now, and it's going to give the Tigers another chance. My goodness.
Yeah, that's the type of things the coaching staff will make you pull your hair out. You do see those types of things a little bit more in the early part of the season, and they'll be looking to iron those things out as the season goes on. So that brings up 4th and 1.
Yes, it does. We're right back to the original scenario.
It's like deja vu all over again. They're going to line up in a power set. Konchesky getting ready to take the snap here on 4th and 1. He's got the ball and following a blocker, and he's dropped. He's going to be short, no doubt. And guess who it was? It was Ty Brown.
My goodness. Sonoraville has been winning that battle. When it's been short yardage for the most part, the Phoenix have been getting the better of the Tigers up front tonight.
So 43 seconds left on the clock, and the Phoenix are going to get the ball back, and they're going to start on the Tigers, or rather on their own 31-yard line. And the ball game is tied up at 13 apiece. So absolutely the Darlington Tigers in a situation here where they don't want to give up points with 43 seconds left to the locker room. And they got to get a couple stops here.
And the Phoenix have shown they can score quickly. And they have a timeout as well.
So Jackson Pate's going to line them up. He's got a wide receiver on each side. Sniffer in there. There's the snap. Going to hand it off to Key, and they're going to drop him. I believe that was... I was trying to catch who grabbed it.
Is Pate going to take his timeout? No, he's going to let this run. I think he's content knowing they get the ball to start the second half.
Sam 20 with the tackle there for the Tigers. Second down and 6. Ball on the 34-yard line. Jackson Pate ready to take the snap. Going to have 2 wide receivers. There's the snap. Going to hand it. Nope. Quarterback's going to keep it and try to run up the middle, and he's going to be brought down a bit short. That's going to bring up 3rd down, but it's going to be 3rd down and fairly short here for the Phoenix. But 1 second, and that's the end of the first half of play. So with that said, Ian, we got ourselves a tie ball game at halftime.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. It's going to be an interesting finish.
13 apiece. Darlington Tigers hosting Sonoraville Phoenix tonight. We're going to send it back to the studio for a 4-minute timeout. A 4-minute timeout down the line. We'll be back with a halftime show after these messages. welcome you back in live here at Chris Hunter Stadium. Glad to be with you tonight. Matt Davis along Ian Griffin. And we're just having a good time here listening to the Sonoraville Phoenix Marching Band. And, you know, man, that's one of the things that makes high school football what it is getting to see these bands play. Yeah, it's fantastic.
No doubt about it, man. It's all part of that Friday night atmosphere, the drum lines, the horn sections. They're getting it out there.
It's awesome. They got a great band from Sonoraville. But, man, we've got a tie ball game here at halftime, 13-13. We got a good one. Kind of felt like that would be the case. Although, you know, with these two teams and their prolific offenses, might have thought there might be a little bit more scoring there in the first half. But it was a very interesting and action-packed half, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's and Darlington's got to be reeling a little bit. Their last two possessions, they were in position to score and had an interception on a fourth down and then a turnover on downs on that last possession. And Sonoraville was able to go down the field and even this thing up. They missed their extra point. Darlington missed their second PAT, so all knotted up at 13 here. But it looked like we were going to have 50 points on the board before the first quarter was over, and then these two defenses made some really good adjustments, and we actually had, by count, 5 consecutive punts at one point between these two teams.
Pretty unbelievable. Yeah. And, of course, one of the things we're going to do at halftime, Ian, is check on some scores from other area games, and we'll do that here in just a couple of moments. Do want to give you a couple of programming notes for our radio listeners out there. After tonight's action, we're going to have the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show with Lynn and Austin Butler, and then after they're done at 11:30, we will join the Braves Radio Network in progress. They have a 10:15 first pitch out there in San Francisco against the Giants, so we're going to catch probably, about 2/3 of that game, more than likely. So you can tune that in and catch a lot of sports tonight on WLAQ. Then coming up tomorrow, we'll have Braves at Giants, 4:05 first pitch for that. That means that the pregame begins at 2:50 p.m. And then on Sunday, we'll have Braves and Giants again, 7:10 p.m. first pitch, pregame at 5:55 p.m. And certainly we are a very proud affiliate of the Atlanta Braves. We've had the Braves on WLAQ, Ian, since 1966, except for maybe 1 or 2 seasons in there. So it's quite a tradition to have the Braves on the airwaves of WLAQ, and we're super proud of it.
And this has been a fun season to watch these Atlanta Braves play.
Oh, it's been unbelievable. You can't find a hole in the batting order from top to bottom. They have so much depth. I guess one thing that you hope for as we edge towards the end of the season is they get all their pitching staff healthy and firing all cylinders. But, boy, look at Charlie Morton, the veteran, what he's done in his last couple of starts.
Looks so sharp.
He's been vicious, absolutely vicious.
Yeah. Fun to watch. Freed's kind of finding himself again. He got knocked around a little bit in his last start, but settled in. So it's going to be fun to watch. This is a huge road trip for them. The Giants, they handled them in Atlanta, but it's always hard to go out to the opposite side of the country. You just get kind of off your schedule, but they go to San Francisco, then to Colorado, and then back for a 4-game set with the Dodgers, who are, if there's anybody as hot as the Braves, the Dodgers have been red hot lately.
So Freddie Freeman coming back to town, huh?
Well, it's that they're going to L.A. They'll be in L.A., but the big story there, other than Freddie, is that they're not that far behind for that number 1 spot. As far as, they're only, I think, 4 games behind the Braves as far as their record's concerned.
Every time I look at the Braves record this year, here at this point of the season, I got to, blink my eyes, just make sure I don't have something in my eyes. I just can't believe how quickly they've got to the level of wins that they have this
82.
year. 82.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Well, man, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to run down some scores from other games around the area, courtesy of Rome Orthopedic Center. We're glad to have you with us this evening on live coverage of Darlington Tigers football here on the YouTube stream for Darlington, also on WLAQ Radio. We got about 12 minutes and 36 seconds left of the halftime period. We're at halftime. We're tied. Darlington Tigers and Sonoraville Phoenix. We're back in 4 minutes.
At Rome Orthopedic Center, we salute students, freshmen and seniors, athletes and artists, first stringers and choral singers, band majors and game changers. We hope you never need orthopedic care, but if you do, choose the only practice in the Rome area solely dedicated to the orthopedic needs of the students and families in our community. Rome Orthopedic Center. To make an appointment, call 706-292-0040.
My name is Ryan Sonoraville. I am the sales manager for Business Water Solutions. We do water purification coolers as well as ice machines for any size business. We're on campus right now at Darlington School. Super happy to be here. They're one of our biggest customers. I myself played sports here. Our two founders played sports here. It was absolutely our pleasure to be a sponsor for Darlington Athletics. I think one thing that really sets us apart is our water purification. There's 13 stages. The reverse osmosis part of it has been a huge part of our success, along with our 24-hour guarantee for service calls. So when a customer does call us, we're guaranteed within 24 hours. We were able to provide a touchless water system to make it more COVID-friendly in terms of germs and touching the water system. One thing I always say is we're not selling a product, we're selling our service. That's what we really push for every single day, is to have a customer service experience like they've never had before.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection, or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet Buick GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside Buick GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
At Darlington, we find our confidence in discovering who we are.
In the classroom and on stage.
The opportunities are endless.
Our creativity knows no bounds as we take risks,
explore opportunities,
and stretch our minds.
Together with our teachers,
we use what we've learned to create beauty,
to tell stories,
to inspire. We discover new passions
while allowing existing ones to flourish.
We know that we can do anything,
be anything,
achieve anything.
We give our time to something greater than ourselves. Whether we're sketching,
singing,
writing,
or acting, we find new ways to express ourselves
and share our talents with the world. We know that our ideas and contributions matter, and we take great pride in that.
Because today,
tomorrow, forever.
We're Darlington Tigers.
We welcome you back into Chris Hunter Stadium. Live coverage of Darlington Tigers football. We're at halftime. We're locked up at 13 apiece between the Tigers and the Phoenix. A fun first half of football. And Ian, we're going to take some time now, courtesy of Rome Orthopedic Center. What is that, knocker ball?
Knocker ball.
Epic.
Yes.
That's good stuff right there.
There we go.
I've never done that before, but I think that's something I'd give a shot.
I think we need to send you out there right now.
I don't agree with that. I need to do a little bit more research on that. Is that something that's suitable for a 44-year-old man? I don't want to.
Our ACLs are always at risk.
Yeah, I don't want to be on the sidelines because I take a risk that I shouldn't. But
right.
It looks fun, though.
It does look fun. Yeah.
But anyway, courtesy of Rome Orthopedic Center, we're going to give you some scores here at halftime. Darlington 13, Sonoraville 13. What do you got?
I got over at Barron Stadium, Rome is beating Lithonia 49-0 at the half. Again, 13-13, all knotted up here. Pepperell and Model also tied at the half, 6-6. So you got a defensive slugfest between two rivals in Lindale. Rockmart leads Cass 10-7. Close ball game. We knew that was going to be a good one.
I took Rockmart in that one, Cass. Ian took Cass in that one, and he's got a 2-game lead on me, so I need you, Yellow Jackets. Come on.
Yep, good ball game going on over at the Rock. Woodland leads Coosa 28-0. We both picked the Wildcats in that one. Coosa scored a big win last week, avoided a letdown. Southeast Whitfield came back on them, but they got the win. This week it doesn't look like it's in the cards as the Wildcats are up big in the second quarter. Cedartown on the road against Callaway, leading 10-7. We thought that would probably be a low-scoring ball game. Callaway's a proud program. Cedartown, we're still trying to figure out what pieces they have coming back from their great team last year, but we know they have a good defense. Up by 3. Gordon Central and Southeast Whitfield are all knotted up at 8 apiece. Calhoun is leading Carver of Atlanta 14-6. We both took Calhoun to bounce back after a loss last week to Blessed Trinity. That was a tough one to pick, too.
It was. I couldn't believe when I was looking at the Georgia High School Football Daily this week, and they mentioned that Calhoun was held to negative rushing yards last week. And my question would have been, when's the last time that happened?
Yeah, ever?
I mean,
who knows?
Who knows? Certainly,
I'm sure it's happened
not
before.
in recent years, I wouldn't think.
No. But then Cartersville, I'm kind of surprised this one's not a little more lopsided, but they're up 14-0 over Jonesboro. And then I've got a Daresville leading Cherokee Bluff 14-0 at the half.
Awesome. We've got about 5 minutes and 38 seconds before the halftime period expires. We enjoyed watching the Sonoraville Phoenix Marching Band, and now we're being treated to a game of knocker ball out there on the field, I suppose, with some students out there having a good time at halftime out here on Jerry Sharp Field. A lot of smiles out there.
I just want Matt to play.
Oh, my goodness.
And if we could get one of those big giant cutouts of your head to go on top of it, that would make it a lot more entertaining, too.
While we got a couple of moments, I do want to break down our high school football coverage. I'm not signing the papers for that one yet. I got to, like I say, a little bit more research is required for that decision. But anyway, want to talk about our high school football coverage. Of course, it all starts on Wednesdays now on our WLAQ YouTube channel. If you've not gone to that and subscribed, for it, please do that. That way you can keep up with what we got going on there. We got some other exciting shows that we're going to be launching over the next little bit. And, of course, we've got the Coach Wayne Grove show that we launched a couple of weeks ago on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. We can't thank him enough for giving us his time after practice on Wednesdays, and we sit down and talk to him about, the previous week's games, the upcoming matchup. We've even got a new segment that we introduced in the second week of the show, which was this week, where we get to know Coach a little bit. We asked him what his favorite sports movie of all time was, and he kind of tricked us a little bit. He went with a basketball movie.
He did?
He went with the Hoosiers. I mean, I felt for sure he was going to come back with Varsity Blues or Friday Night Lights or something like that, or Remember the Titans or something of that nature, but he went Hoosiers on us.
He did. None of us mentioned Unnecessary Roughness, which still stands as one of my favorite football movies. But, he went with Hoosiers, and really, I couldn't be more in line. The guy loves Karate Kid, and he has the Rockies ranked the right way.
He does. A lot of people, when you talk about Rocky, they want to put number 3 ahead of the rest. But you and I have talked about this in great detail. If you grew up during a certain era like we did, we're about the same age as Coach Groves. You got to put Rocky IV up there with Ivan Drago.
It's 4-3-1 for me. I'm completely in step there, and that's not a knock on 3. 3's fantastic.
3's awesome.
It's fantastic. But, there's just something about Rocky IV, man.
There truly
you get a
is.
double montage.
Well, I remember getting the soundtrack on vinyl when I was a kid, and I remember it sitting there. I got a basketball goal that year that my grandfather made. The record was sitting out there. I remember we watched it on a beta, probably tape at that time, I suppose. You remember beta, the little small tapes before VHS? I'm really dating myself here. And I don't know, there's just a special connection to that movie. And if I can change and you can change,
we all can change.
It changed the world.
It did. It did.
The Cold War.
And I watched it. I watched it with my boys about 2 months ago. And, you always get a montage in a Rocky movie, but you get a double montage because, remember, he's up there. He's finding himself. He's in Russia. He's training. And he goes through his montage, and then he gets back, and who's there? Adrian. She's there. And what happens after that? Another montage.
I love
Double montage.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do now. We're going to take a break. It's 13 apiece at halftime between the Darlington Tigers and the Sonoraville Phoenix. We're going to step out for a 3-minute break, and we'll come back and set the stage for the second half because we got about 2 minutes and 14 seconds left of halftime, but then they'll have the mandatory warm-up period, if you want to call it that tonight. Don't think you got to do much to be warm, huh?
No, not at all. But I tell you what, Matt, we are in store for a heck of a second half, I believe.
It's going to be epic. You don't want to go anywhere, folks. Stay with us. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
My name is Ryan Sonoraville. I am the sales manager for Business Water Solutions. We do water purification coolers as well as ice machines for any size business. We're on campus right now at Darlington School. Super happy to be here. They're one of our biggest customers. I myself played sports here. Our two founders played sports here. It was absolutely our pleasure to be a sponsor for Darlington Athletics. I think one thing that really sets us apart is our water purification. There's 13 stages. The reverse osmosis part of it has been a huge part of our success, along with our 24-hour guarantee for service calls. So when a customer does call us, we're guaranteed within 24 hours. We were able to provide a touchless water system to make it more COVID-friendly in terms of germs and touching the water system. One thing I always say is we're not selling a product, we're selling our service. That's what we really push for every single day, is to have a customer service experience like they've never had before.
At Rome Orthopedic Center, we salute students, freshmen and seniors, athletes and artists, first stringers and choral singers, band majors and game changers. We hope you never need orthopedic care, but if you do, choose the only practice in the Rome area solely dedicated to the orthopedic needs of the students and families in our community. Rome Orthopedic Center. To make an appointment, call 706-292-0040.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection, or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet Buick GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside Buick GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
Welcome you back in where we're in the mandatory warm-up period. We got about a minute and a half left, or a minute and 50 seconds left of that. And Ian, I got a phone call today I hadn't had an opportunity to tell you about, but I answer the phone, and Georgia fans will appreciate this, Georgia Bulldogs fans. So I answer the phone at the radio station, and I hear the voice on the other line. He goes, "Matt, this is Lauren Smith." And I said, "Lauren, you don't have to introduce yourself. As soon as you start talking, I know who you are." Well, anyway, the conversation was that we're bringing back his segment on WLAQ, and in past years we've talked to him about Georgia Bulldogs football on Fridays for about 10 minutes, but we've decided to shift it to Thursdays. So we get that as part of our Northwest Georgia Sports Live program on Thursdays now at 9:10. We'll get a phone call from Bulldog legend Lauren Smith and chat Georgia Bulldogs football. So always great to catch up with him. He's just a wealth of knowledge about football and everything about it. So it's always fun to talk to him.
We'll get Georgia lore from Lauren, and then go Gable after that. It's going to be an action-packed hour.
We have the Rome Braves report, so we're going to have, to work hard to fit it all in. So
That's right.
We got a lot going on, but it's going to be a lot of fun to catch up with him.
And we get to start picking college games next week,
Oh, my
too.
goodness.
Yeah, it's going to be a rodeo.
Wow.
Lightning rounds.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, to bring you up to speed, the Darlington Tigers right now in Sonoraville, Phoenix are tied at 13. Sonoraville won the toss, and they deferred to the second half. So they're going to put their offense out onto the field here to start this second half of the game and try to set the tone that way.
Yeah. I mean, I love the move. They were down 13-7. They were able to get that score on, I think that was their 5th drive of the first half when they evened things up at 13. Darlington had a few chances, was knocking on the door, but couldn't get any points. So, winning the toss and deferring to the second half has played into the advantage of the Sonoraville Phoenix as they get the ball to start this half and a chance to go out and set the tone.
So we've got the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show coming up for you tonight around 10 o'clock or just after the game, so make sure you tune in for that. Going to be a lot of interesting games to talk about, and I know they got their cast of characters lined up from different games around the area tonight to give you the skinny on what happened tonight. Well, we've got a couple of men back here for the Sonoraville Phoenix to try to take a stab at returning this kick. Hendricks Jones about ready to tee it up here for the Tigers and kick this second half off, and we're just about to be back to playing football on a Friday night, and as they say, nothing like a Tiger on a Friday night.
We are in for what I think is going to be an exciting second half.
And Hendricks gets ready to trot to the ball and kick this thing off. There's the whistle from the official, and we're underway. Toe meets leather. That's going to be end over end, and it's going to sail out of bounds, so the flag comes out, obviously.
That should be 35-yard line. Starting field position for Sonoraville here.
Indeed it is. And we'll get ready for the Phoenix to trot out to the line of scrimmage here and open up this second half of play. Maybe later on tonight and certainly tomorrow you'll be able to read about the game. I know the guy that's writing the story tonight.
Oh,
He's
how
sitting
about
right
that?
next to me. Ian Griffin is going to be writing in the Rome News Tribune for Alex Fair. That's going to be awesome. I look forward to checking it out, man.
I think it might just get posted online. I didn't get to talk. I didn't talk to Alex for too long, but I'm glad to help out.
Two wide receivers on the far side, one on the near. Jackson Pate's going to line them up in a shotgun formation, and they will start out, as we mentioned, at the 35-yard line after the opening kickoff of the second half was kicked out of bounds. There's the snap. Pate's going to hand it off. Key's got some room up the middle. They can't bring him down. It takes about 4 guys to haul him down at about the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
Wow, he was dragging the pile.
Yeah, he got hit at the line of scrimmage and just kept churning those legs and bouncing off of Tigers. And it's going to be interesting to see the halftime adjustments from both coaches.
It's going to be first down and 10. That was a 14-yard run. Shotgun formation. Pate takes the snap. He turns, hands it right back to Key, the man that just ran it for 14 yards. And this time they're ready for him and haul him in, gang tackling the Tigers on.
Yeah, great push there by the defensive front from Darlington.
Sam Wooten, I believe, was the lead tackle there.
And he is the Mike linebacker, and we talked with Coach Groves. He's like, that's my guy out there, and we're going to start throwing more and more at him. But an important position, the quarterback of this defense.
Ball at midfield, second down and 9 here for the Phoenix. 11:08 remaining in the third quarter. There's the snap to Pate. He's going to hand it off, and he's got a seam. He runs up the middle of the field, and they finally bring him down, but not until he gets to around the 25-yard line. I got to tell you, that was Jaden Cruz.
He's got some wheels.
He's got some wheels. He's got a low center of gravity. He's kind of hard to wrap up and get to the turf.
Yeah, not a big guy at all.
He's elusive. So another big run for the Phoenix, and now they've got it at the 28-yard line on the Darlington side of the field with a fresh set of downs. They're going back to nope, they went the other way. Quarterback kept it. He's now inside the 10, and they haul him out of bounds at around the 6 or 7-yard line. So a few big plays here for Sonoraville to open up the half.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All on the ground so far from the Phoenix, and they are inside the red zone, knocking on the door.
And anybody that's followed the career of Denver Pate, one of the things they always point out is what a great offensive mind he has. So this brings up first down and 6. With the ball on the 6, there's a snap. Quarterback is going to hand it off. Key tries to spin around. There's nothing there, and the door is closed.
Good effort there. Good push by the Darlington defensive line.
So 2nd down and goal from the 5 as we get ready for the Phoenix to run back to the line of scrimmage. 25 seconds on the play clock, 10:20 on the game clock. 13 apiece is your score. Just underway with the 3rd quarter. Jackson Pate ready to take the snap. He's got it. He's going to fake the handoff, runs up the middle, and he goes in, diving to the end zone. So a quick score by the Phoenix to open up the half.
Yep, 5-yard touchdown run there from Jackson Pate. And the Phoenix have their first lead of the ball game at 19-13 with the PAT pending. And that was just what the doctor ordered if you are a Sonoraville fan. And now the Tigers are going to have to bounce back and answer.
Mateo Trillo is on, the junior, for the extra point attempt. Missed one earlier in the game. Connect with the other. Here is the snap. The hold kick is on the way, and that was going to be through this time. No, it's no good.
Wide left.
My goodness.
Wide left.
So that's the second mixed extra point here for Sonoraville in the football game.
He's got plenty of leg. He's pushed one to the right and now one to the left. Big miss there. Kind of takes the air out of your tires when you don't get that PAT. And if Darlington can answer with a touchdown and knock one through the uprights, they'll have the lead.
And as we talked about earlier, the devil's in the details, and sometimes those are the things that you look back at the end of the game and see made the difference.
That was Christian Academy announced they were 0 for 4 on their 2-point conversions last week. Yeah.
You know, and I was thinking about that. How many games have you ever seen where you had that many missed 2-point conversions in a game?
Well, Darlington will get their chance to answer. Coach Groves getting his men in line. Is this the first time Darlington has trailed this season?
I believe so,
yes. So we'll get to see the resolve of these young men.
So the ball is teed up at the 40-yard line as we get ready for Mateo to kick it off to the Tigers. Going to have Talon Shary at the middle of the field, standing around the 5-yard line. And let's see if they can get a big kick return here and get something opened up. So Mateo takes his steps back and will trot to the ball. Friday Night Lights for you on WLAQ and the Darlington School YouTube channel. And here's Trillo's kick. It is on the way, end over end. It's going to drop into the hands of Talon Shary at about the 10-yard line. He brings it out, cuts towards the far side of the field, and they're going to bring him down. A heavy hit around the 25-yard line. Yeah. Boy, he is laid out.
Yeah, he is.
Man, that was a hard hit. He's moving around a little bit right now.
Yeah. Keep an eye on this. Man, he had a head full of steam. Thought for a second he was going to break that.
And the Sonoraville coaches came over right away as soon as he hit the turf and started to check on him.
Yeah, and a hush has filled this stadium as we wait to see if Talon Shary is okay.
Both teams now taking a knee. And like you say, you could hear a pin drop out here as they look at Talon Shary. So I tell you what we're going to do, man. We're going to take a break. Let's step out for a 1-minute break. We'll be back. Very quickly, that's the good news. There's the snap. Quarterback's going to hand it off, gives it to Miles Twyman, runs around the formation, and he's going to be dropped at around the 32-yard line. So that's going to be a pickup of about 5 yards there for Miles.
Yeah, good run there by Twyman.
Glad to see Talon Shary get up as quick as he did. It didn't look like that was going to be the case for a minute.
No, it didn't, and I'm sure they're going to have to put him through concussion protocol here. I don't know if we'll see him again this evening or not, but he's getting checked out. He looked to be just fine, but when you take a hit like that, we're going to have another.
Yep.
Oh, and Coach Groves is going to be disappointed with this one. They broke the huddle with too many men once again. That happened in the first half as well.
So they'll mark off the penalty yards, and we'll get ready for second down here for the Tigers. And a long way to go. 9:30 left here in the third quarter of the game. Sonoraville has their first lead of the game, up 19-13 after a quick score to start the second half. And still no Demarion Floyd here in this game.
No, we have not seen D-Man.
Going to have 2 wide on each side of the formation for the Tigers. This is bringing up second down and 9 with 9:14 left to go in the quarter. And Sammy Konchesky set to take the snap. Man motions from the near side to the far side. He fakes, going to put the ball in the air, hits Miles Twyman, who's open. Boy, and he's got a little bit of green grass here and gets it across the 35 to about the 37. Yeah. Nice moves by Miles.
Yeah, first down there. And there really wasn't a lot of room for Twyman to work with, but he made the most of that situation and picked up a big first down.
8:53 remains here in the third quarter. Sonoraville leads 19-13. A fresh set of downs for the Tigers. Ball at the 43-yard line, or rather the 38-yard line, I should say. Shotgun formation, Twyman in the backfield, 2 wide receivers to the far side, a sniffer on the near side. They're going to run this way, and Sammy Konchesky breaks a couple of tackles and is hauled out of bounds for a short gain.
Not too much room to run there for Konchesky. Again, making a couple of guys miss to pick up 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7 from there.
Indeed, and the ball at the 42-yard line here for the Tigers, trying to work their way over into Phoenix territory, trailing 19-13. Next week, we're going to be going on the first road trip of the Wayne Groves era, going up to Christian Heritage. Always a fun place to go for a football game. There's a snap. They're going to keep it. Quarterback keeps it, and not a lot of room there, Ian.
No, he decided to pull that one, and they had it defended well. Chesky kind of slow to get up, but there he's on his feet. And we're having to see some new personnel here from the Tigers. You know, Demarion Floyd has not played tonight, and now Talon Shirey is getting a thorough checkup over here on the sidelines. So it's Twyman and Konchesky and some new faces out there.
4 wide set. Twyman in the backfield. They're going to fake to him, throw it to the near side, and connects with receiver Bodie Powers, who takes a pretty heavy hit on the sidelines. Grandson of Gordon Powers.
He held on to it.
And one of my best buddies from high school is his uncle, Bodie Powers.
Good job by Powers to hold on to that. He got whacked.
He really did. Yeah. So that brings up 4th down and obvious punt situation here for the Tigers. So couldn't get anything going on their first drive here of the second half, Ian.
No, they picked up 1 first down. We're going to have to punt this away, and the defense is going to have to step up right now to keep this a 1-score game.
So 1 man back here for the Sonoraville Phoenix, and here comes the punt. And that is going to be off the foot of number 14, Trenton Moore. And it's going to take a Tiger roll to around the 15-yard line. That turned out pretty nice.
It did. I mean, you think about it, Shirey's such a contributor. He punts, plays receiver, he's a corner. So his injury has thrust a bunch of Tigers into the limelight here, but a good punt there by Trenton Moore.
No doubt about it. So the Phoenix are going to have pretty rough field position here to start their next drive. The ball's going to be right at the 15-yard line on their side of the field as they get ready to set up shop. Braves baseball for you later on tonight after the scoreboard show. We'll join that at 11:30. Probably be about 3rd inning by that point, I suppose, with a 10:15 start. You never know. Goes a little quicker nowadays with the pitch clock. There's the snap. Dropping back is Jackson Pate. Throws a dart up the middle of the field. Connects with a wide receiver, and he is on the run. He's across midfield, and they haul him in at about the 48-yard line. That was Kamen Reynolds with the grab. Great pass by Jackson Pate.
And it has been all Sonoraville here through this third quarter. Another chunk play for this Phoenix offense. Their last drive was 6 plays, and it was all on the ground. They opened this one up with a slant that goes for about 35 yards.
2 wide receivers on the far side, one on the near with a fresh set of downs, now with the ball in Tiger territory. Sonoraville working from right to left, shifting some personnel before the snap here. 14 seconds left on the play clock. Pate takes the snap. He drops back a few steps and is going to put the ball in the air, goes towards the right side, and that sails over the receiver's head and incomplete out of bounds.
He had time to throw. Good coverage downfield there by the Tigers secondary.
Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game coming up after tonight's action, but we got a long way to go until we get to that point.
And Talon Shirey is on the field. So,
wow.
Tell you what, you got a good group of trainers and physicians that are taking care of these kids. He wouldn't be out there if he shouldn't be out there, so they gave him a very thorough.
Tigers line up on defense. 2nd down and 10 coming up for the Phoenix. They're going to hand it off. Keys has got it, goes out to the right side, a little bit of a delayed handoff to him, and he picks up 5 or 6 yards before he goes out of bounds.
Yeah, I thought that Connor Ellison had a shot at him, couldn't quite get him down at the line of scrimmage, so he picked up a few yards to make this 3rd and manageable for the Sonoraville offense.
Jaron Payne checks into the game on defense here for the Tigers. Coming off the field is going to be Connor Ellison that you just referenced, as well as
Miles Twyman.
Mm-hmm. So 3rd and 6, ball at the 44-yard line here for the Phoenix. They lead at 19-13. There's the snap. They're going to fake the handoff. Quarterback's going to run this one, and he is going to be brought down. That was a big stop by Duggan.
Yeah.
Noah Duggan.
And this is
He's fired up.
Yeah, that's a great tackle. First down saving tackle, and that puts them in 4th and 4. And Sonoraville's got a decision to make. Do you gamble here and possibly give Darlington good field position? I don't know. I mean, this is definitely a position where rolling the dice could pay off. You've got a lead.
It looks like that's what they're going to elect to do. Jackson Pate remains on the field. 2 wide to the near side, 1 on the far side. He's got Ty Brown in the backfield with him. Looks off to the sidelines. 4th down and 4. The fans for the Darlington Tigers on their feet, trying to feed some energy to that defense. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off. Brown's got it, goes off to the far side and picks up the 1st down and a couple of yards after that.
Yep. Well executed play there on 4th down. And Sonoraville keeps their drive alive.
So 4th down conversion, and with 4:19 left in the clock ticking, the chains are moving, and so are the Sonoraville Phoenix.
I tell you what, it's a hot night out there. You see some hands on hips. These guys are feeling the heat.
3 wide set, dropping back's Pate. He's got company in the backfield. Man trips up as he was getting near him, but boy, still in hot pursuit. Going to chase him towards the sidelines, and they haul him out of bounds. But he probably, well, it looks like he'll probably net a few yards after everything's all said and done. Great pursuit on defense by the Tigers.
Yeah, absolutely. How many yards did he get?
I don't know. I hadn't.
Oh, wow.
He got more than I thought he did.
Yeah. Ended up picking up almost 9 yards.
Wow. Whoa. 2nd down and 2. 2 wide on the far side, 1 on the near. Jackson Pate getting ready to take the snap. He's going to hand it off, gives it to Cruz. He breaks through a couple of guys and picks up another 1st down for the Phoenix, and they're going to be in the red zone.
And Cruz, man, he is so quick.
He's so quick, and
that low, like you said, that low center of gravity.
They got some weapons on this Sonoraville team. I think they're going to have a really good season. Of course, they've got some tough competition that they faced throughout their season in their region, including Cedartown. Shotgun formation. Pate takes the snap, pulls it down, hands it off to Key. He goes up the middle and got a couple of yards there on that play.
Ended up getting 4 or 5, I think, out of that.
Man. You know, one of the advantages that Sonoraville had coming into the game is just the numbers. I mean, they're a 4A school, got a bigger roster, probably have 80-something kids on the roster, and are able to 2 platoon a good bit more than you are able to when you're a single A team.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Tigers are down right now 19-13, but we got a long way to go. 2:48 left here in the third quarter. Pate lines them up in a shotgun formation, 2 wide on each side. Cruz in the backfield, and we got a timeout, it looks like. We do. Sonoraville calls it, so we'll take it with them. 2:41 left to go in the third quarter. Again, Sonoraville up 19-13 over Darlington. We'll be back in 30 seconds. The Darlington Tigers defense kind of up against the wall right now, 2nd down and 7. If the Tigers can find a way to get a couple of stops here and get off the field, that could be potentially a huge momentum shift back in the Tigers' favor, Ian.
Oh, absolutely. You can feel it. They need a play here to kind of swing momentum back in their favor. This third quarter has been all Sonoraville. No doubt about it.
So the Phoenix will run back to the line of scrimmage with 2nd down and 7. Ball on the 16-yard line in the red zone. Pate ready to take the snap with 4 wide. He drops back, looking to throw. He's got company. He is going to put the ball in the air, connects with a receiver, and he is on the run towards the end zone, and he scoots in untouched. That was number 6, Cayman Reynolds, with a touchdown, and the Phoenix strike again.
Yes, they did.
16-yard pass play.
And a 2-score lead for the Phoenix. And Cayman Reynolds put a heck of a juke there at the end as well.
So the score moves to 25-13, pending PAT. And Mateo Trillo is out there to try to punt. No, actually, we got a different kicker here this time. Sergio Perez will try to get one through after a couple of missed extra points already in the game. And that one is blocked. Who got it? Let's see the replay on this.
I think it was Shirey. It was.
Wasn't him?
Talon Shirey.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see if it.
Okay, I thought it was 55. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Coming off the edge, I'm watching this one more
watch it one more time.
Well, that's the touchdown replay. So.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll get another look at that. You were probably right.
I think it was Shire coming off the edge. He almost got one earlier.
2:31 left to go, and another. Well, that one blocked, but
yes.
A missed extra point. And the score is 25-13. So a 12-point lead here for the Phoenix with 2:31 left to go in the third quarter. Glad to have you with us tonight on WLAQ and also the Darlington School YouTube channel. And as we mentioned earlier, going to hit the road next week and the week. Well, I believe there's going to be a bye week after the game at Christian Heritage, and then on the road to go to Northwest Whitfield up at Tunnel Hill in the Dalton area. And that's going to be 2, really tough contests on the road in a row.
No doubt about it.
All right.
Is Hal Lamb still up at Christian Heritage as the athletic director?
Yeah, I think he is. Mateo Trillo about to kick it off here for the Phoenix. Going to have Talon Shirey standing around the 5-yard line to try to field this kick. Here comes the kick. That one's going to be end over end, drops in. Talon Shirey's got it. He cuts towards the near side of the field this time around. He stays up, breaks a couple of tackles. He's on the run, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds about the 27-yard line.
That's well, the Tigers will start their second drive of the second half. And, if that tells you anything, Darlington ran 4 plays. Sonoraville has had the ball. Well, they're actually going to back them up. There's a block in the back.
Yeah, this is a one of those drives where you feel like it's a must-score drive for the Tigers, don't you?
Yeah, Darlington needs some energy right now. The life's kind of been sucked out of the stadium here. I mean, you've snapped the ball 4 times. Sonoraville's had it the rest of this quarter. There's 2 minutes and 22 seconds left. They scored on both their drives, so it's been methodical and it's taken the air out of this stadium, and Darlington needs a spark here. And I'm with you, Matt. They've got to go score.
Here is a score update for you we just got from Jeff Gable. Model 20, Pepperell 6 in the third quarter.
How about that?
Yep. If Model can hang on to that lead and win that game, that is going to be a special win for Jeff Honeycutt down there in Lindale. All right, the ball is on the 9. It's 1st and 10. We'll get ready for Konchesky to take the snap. They got to get themselves out of jail first. They get it to Talon Shirey. Nice spin move from him, but he's going to be brought down immediately afterwards.
Yeah, solid defense there. Just trying to get Shirey that ball in space. Let him do his thing, but there wasn't any space for him to get going.
Hendricks Jones and also Jake Trebus out for this package on 2nd down and 11 after a loss of 1 on that first play. We're under 2 minutes to play now in the third quarter, so we're almost down to the final frame of this one. Week 2 of the high school football season. Sammy Konchesky is standing at about the 3-yard line when he takes the snap. He turns, hands it off, trying to get some breathing room here from Miles Twyman, and he gets him a decent amount of yards there on that play.
Twyman has carried the load tonight. Floyd has been out there on defense. We just haven't seen him touch the ball on offense. And Twyman has risen to the occasion. He's played a really, really good ball game tonight against a tough defensive front.
So that brings up 3rd down and 5. 1:17 left to go here in the quarter. Tigers trying to convert a big 3rd down right here and get the chains moving and moving downfield. So Konchesky got 13 seconds on the play clock here on 3rd and 5. Ball at the 14. Man goes in motion out to the right. They're going to swing it out to him. That's Miles Twyman trying to get their playmaker into space, and he gets it out to across the 20. It's going to be hauled out of bounds. Late hit on the sidelines. Flag comes out. That's a biggie. And
sometimes, I think he had the first down anyway, but sometimes a play like that can give you the spark that you need. Fire you up a little bit. A late hit on the Darlington sideline. Because it feels like they need just an injection of energy here.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, that's a big one there.
So the official march off the extra yardage there, and this is going to bring it all the way out to the 38-yard line. And that's where the Tigers will be for their next snap. They're going to send 2 wide to the far side, 1 on the near side. One on the near side is going to be Jake Trebus. In the backfield is Miles Twyman. He'll get ready for snap here on 1st down. Sammy Konchesky takes the ball. He's going to hand it off to Marion Floyd. Gets his first touch of the game and is brought down immediately for a loss.
Yeah, Sonoraville was not fooled on that one. I think they could have tackled Konchesky and Floyd at the same time. They were in the backfield so fast. And that's going to be a loss of 5. D-Man getting his first possession here.
So 2nd down and 15 here for the Tigers after a 5-yard loss on 1st down. 25 seconds left on the clock as well as the play clock. 3 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. Konchesky going to let the clock wind down a little bit before taking the snap. Now he takes the snap, turns, hands it off to D-Man Floyd, trying to get him a seam. He gets a couple of yards on that play.
And that should do it for the third quarter. Darlington will have a big 3rd down when we come back.
Indeed, and you're right. That's the end of the first quarter. Sonoraville leads this one after scoring a couple of times unanswered here in the third quarter to lead at 25-13 over Darlington as we get ready for the final 12 minutes of the football game. Let's step out for 1 minute. All right, we welcome you back to live coverage here. We welcome you back to live coverage here of Darlington football here from Chris Hunter Stadium. Matt Davis and Ian Griffin with you. We got 12 minutes remaining in this football game. Darlington's got some work to do to get back on the right side of things here.
Yes, this is a big, big down. 3rd and 13 for the Tigers.
All right. Pistol formation, going to send Miles Twyman out to the near side. Here is a pass, a long one on the way, and it's going to overshoot Aiden Davis. Incomplete. Nice thought.
Yeah, absolutely. That one was on a rope. Just a little too hot. Aiden was just getting behind the defender. And Darlington's going to have to punt it away, and they're going to need their defense to come up big and get a stop if they're going to climb their way back into this ball game. I do have some breaking news. Lithonia scored against Rome. It's 56-8, so the shutout did not happen. Dave, your alma mater came through for you, buddy.
Talon Shirey on to punt the ball here for the Tigers. He stands at the 21-yard line. Kick is on the way. That'll be a line drive. Jackson Pate's going to field that one, and he's going to be brought down instantly. Good coverage there by the Tigers on the punt, and bringing him down was Jake Trebus.
And they'll start, is that the 40-yard line? 41. It's a good field position for the Phoenix for their third drive of this game. Both drives in the third quarter.
I think it's the 30.
Oh, is that the 30?
Yep, 30.
Yes, 30.
Wonder what the temperature is now.
A nice balmy 92. That's my guess.
87.
Wow, it's really dropped. That's impressive.
All right, so the Phoenix are going to line up. First down and 10, ball at their own 30. Pate lines him up. He's going to turn, hand it off, gives it to Key. He runs out to the far side of the formation, stays up, gets a first down on the first play.
Ooh. I'll tell you what, man, Pickens must be a pretty good football team.
They must be.
This Sonoraville team is pretty solid.
They are. And it looks like Pate came up a little bit gimpy.
Yeah, he's stretching out that calf muscle.
You know, one of the things that we have not seen tonight?
Zero cramps.
Zero cramps.
Zero cramps.
Two well-conditioned teams and well-hydrated throughout the course of the week. Pate ready to take the snap. He's got it. He's going to turn, hands it off. A bit of traffic there, but he breaks free. He's on the run. This is trouble. The 40-yard line, 30, down to the 20. Nobody can catch him. He's in the end zone. Another score here for the Sonoraville Phoenix, and that one is from a 61-yard run.
TD. And that was Wyatt Key.
Wyatt Key having a big game there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's see. There's some discussion here.
Is it coming back? Nope.
I did not see a flag.
I didn't either.
But there is some discussion here, and we'll wait for the officials to sort this out.
And we got a man for Sonoraville Phoenix being worked on. Guess what, Ian? We jinxed him, I think. It looks like they're
He's
working
on the
out
sidelines, though, so there's that. There's not a stoppage in play yet.
That's true.
There is a flag.
Okay.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on Sonoraville. Did he taunt while he was running? No, you cannot do that. But I don't know if that would take the points. Oh, it will. Wow. Wow. I mean, he was 20 yards clear of the defense. I did see him look back as he was running. Let's check this replay out and see if we can identify what happened. He just emerged from the pile and was gone. I mean, there was nobody around him. And, yeah, he turned back and pointed, and they high-fived each other on their way in. And I guess you can't do that.
Well, that turns into a gift here.
Yeah,
and
huge.
Another opportunity for the Tigers to try to get a stop with the score at 25-13. Shotgun formation, 3 wide set. They're going to hand it off, and running with the ball is going to be Cruz. They bring him down at about the 26-yard line, I do believe. Maybe 27, but pretty good pickup there for Cruz. He's a fun player to watch. Brings up 2nd down and 2 here for the Phoenix. So 2nd down and 2 with the ball at the 27 with 10:55 left here in this football game. Darlington trailing 25-13.
Be a great time for a high snap.
There's the snap. Jackson Pate drops back, and he's got company in the
Pressure.
backfield, but he is able to dodge it, puts the ball in the air, connects with the wide receiver. He cuts up the middle of the field and is going to be dropped at about the 5-yard line. That was one of his favorite targets, Cayman Reynolds, who scored a touchdown on their previous drive.
And again, Jackson Pate just showing that senior leadership. Sits back there. He's really patient in the pocket. Darlington brought some heat, and he just stays calm, sidesteps it, finds the open man, and puts the ball on the money. He's had himself a heck of a ball game.
We were tied at 13 at the half, and Sonoraville so far scored twice unanswered and looking to do it again. Jackson Pate lines him up here with 1st and goal from the 5. He's going to hand it off. Cruz has got it, and he is going to be in for a 5-yard plunge for another Sonoraville Phoenix touchdown.
Just a little delayed handoff there to the speedster, Jaden Cruz. And Sonoraville has scored 25 unanswered points.
So now they'll go for the extra point to try to make it 32-13. Hold will be handled by Chaz Pate. There's the kick. It's on the way, and that one is going to be through. And handling that PAT was Mateo Trillo. And I got to tell you, we've got the Sonoraville coaches sitting next to us.
Yeah.
They have handled themselves with a tremendous amount of class.
No doubt about it.
We hear them a little bit,
yeah.
but they're, you know.
Yeah, they're proud of the way their young men have played and performed, especially in this second half. But definitely the language hasn't been colorful.
No, it's been good.
And
they've
the
kept
volume.
A good volume,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we certainly appreciate that. We got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a frustrating third quarter here for the Darlington Tigers.
The second half has just not gone their way. They've only snapped the football on offense 7 times in this half. And, man, when that AC goes off, you feel it, don't you?
Especially on a night like tonight. I was literally just thinking the same thing. I'm like, am I getting sick or something? I'm getting hot.
Matt's having hot flashes.
Somebody flip the switch, please. Whew.
Oh, goodness.
I'm glad I was hydrating myself at a high level throughout the course of the week. My goodness. Demarion Floyd back deep, and if the Tigers could get a big return from him right now and get down the field, that would be just what the doctor ordered, to try to get back into this game. There's still time left, but they need to score quick.
Yes, they've got to do it here and now.
And there's the kick. It's end over end. Chasing it down is going to be Floyd. He will field it and bring it out. He's got it right now at the 10. Stutter steps out to the outside. He's got a head full of steam. Look at him go. Spins around. Nice move from Demarion Floyd. A flag comes in. He gets across the 40 before they bring him down.
Maybe a face mask. I'm hoping that's the case and not something that's going to take this back in the wrong direction for the Tigers. We will wait on the call.
So 9:49 left to go in the game. We wait on the official to give us the official call here on the penalty flag.
It will be a block in the back. My goodness, the Tigers just can't catch a break here in the second half. Great return there from Demarion Floyd. Who came off the field slow. He showed his usual burst there, but I think he's nursing a little bit of an injury. Man.
Bodie Powers and Hendricks Jones out on the field here for the Tigers.
And we're going to see a quarterback change as well.
We got Luke Parker running out onto the field here, the the junior. We hadn't seen him out there for a snap this game. They'll line up shotgun formation. Going to have Miles Twyman flanked to the left of Parker, working from right to left. There's the snap. He's going to pitch it to Twyman, and he is going to find a seam up the middle and bring it out to about the 28-yard line. So good pickup there for Miles.
Yeah, no doubt. I'd say Twyman's put his name in the hat for the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game, because he has certainly carried the load on offense.
Absolutely, especially when you take into consideration, I know it's a prize that we give by game, but he had a great game last week as well. He's been doing a great job for the Tigers so far this season. Shotgun formation, 3 wide set, 2 on the far side. There's the snap. Parker's going to hand it off to Twyman. He goes up the middle and finds a seam, gets a first down. He's out across to about the 37-yard line. Another big pickup. Yeah. I think you're right about that prize for sure. He's earned the heck out of it.
And it has not been easy sledding out there either. This Sonoraville defensive front has played a whale of a ball game. You have to give them credit where credit is due.
Ball at the 37-yard line. 1st and 10 here for the Tigers. 2 wide set on the far side, 1 on the near. Dropping back is going to be Parker. Puts the ball in the air. Pretty good ball. And bringing it down is Davis. He leaps up and grabs the ball. That was a heck of a grab. Yeah. Aiden Davis.
Yeah, heck of a catch. To maintain possession all the way to the turf there. That was a tough one.
So the Tigers trying to get a little something going here. 8:43 left in the game. Not totally out of reach yet.
Not at all. They're spreading it out. They just need to take it 1 score at a time.
4 wide receiver set. Dropping back is Parker. Got a pretty clean pocket. Puts the ball in the air. Connects with a wide receiver up the middle of the field. And brought down is going to be Bodie Powers, but making a nice grab. Flags on the field, though. And that's a holding call against the Tigers. So this one's coming back.
Tell you what, even when things are going right, they're going wrong in this second half. That was a heck of a pass there from Parker to Powers. You see the Tigers try to spread the field and chuck the ball around the yard a little bit here to manage the clock, see if they can climb back into this ball game.
Oh, the air just came back on. My
there
goodness.
it is. Magic.
Manna from heaven.
If Doug were to call in, he'd tell us to rub some dirt on it, right?
He would. Yeah. He gave us a speech about that this week. Dropping back is Parker, puts the ball in the air, connects with Talon Shirey, stays up, breaks a tackle, and he's brought down after a gain of about 5 or 6. Very hard run after the grab there by Talon. He is a tough customer.
I mean, he is, because, I mean, that another one of those old jailbreak screens. And, I mean, he was having to break tackles before he really had a chance to bring the ball in, so.
Aiden Davis is going to be the receiver to the near side, 3 on the far side. Parker drops back looking to throw. He's going to put the ball in the air, and it's going to be just, I think he caught it out of bounds.
Yeah. And the Tiger that caught it, I think that might have been Jake Trebus.
I didn't catch the number. I think you're right, though. He's down on his back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That was Trebus. I'll tell you what, though, one of the things that Darlington has in their corner, they've got 2 really, really good options at quarterback. Sammy Konchesky can throw the ball, and his ability to run is unbelievable, but Parker's got a great arm. He throws a good ball.
He does. He does, and this is a good opportunity for him to get in there and get some reps. Let's remember, I mean, we've still got 7:30. This game's not over, but regardless, you're building yourself up for region play against a tough opponent, so those are your valuable reps.
Shotgun formation, trips to the near side, 1 on the far side. Rolling out is Parker, going to put the ball in the air, and that is going to be intercepted by the Sonoraville Phoenix, and number 10, that is Gilbert. So an interception for the Phoenix. And
it looks like tonight's going to be a learning experience for this Darlington Tiger football team. They've turned it over a couple of times, had some penalties, and run into a team that's just executed really well tonight. But the mistakes have really hurt the Tigers in a game where they're going up against a tough opponent and a senior quarterback who has not made any mistakes.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, credit where credit's due.
Right.
Sonoraville's played an excellent game tonight. And, you know, Tigers will lick their wounds and get back at it. They got a game up at Christian Heritage next week. Still a bit of time in this one. Not that we're throwing in the towel, but things are looking pretty tough right now at the moment. But the Phoenix are going to get ready to line up now with the football and a pretty commanding lead here late in this football game. They're going to line up with 2 wide receivers. And Pate takes this. I think we got a new quarterback in the game, and they're going to hand it off, go off to the far side. And carrying the football that time is number 12, Cole Collins.
It's another Pate out there.
Chaz Pate, the sophomore.
Yeah.
Yep.
The younger Pate. And he's wearing his dad's number. Didn't Denver wear 13 when he was at Pepperell?
I don't recall, to be honest with you, man.
Yeah.
I probably should know since I went to Pepperell and graduated a year before he did, but
Matt wasn't interested.
I wasn't that interested at the time, I must admit. They're going to hand it off, and
this guy.
I will say this. I had Coach Honeycutt for typing class, and I learned to type.
Oh. Home row keys, Davis. Home row keys.
Keep your elbows off the table, son. He was fun to have as a teacher. Going to have a wide receiver on each side of the formation. Shotgun as Chaz Pate gets ready to take the snap. He is going to run with the football, runs it up the middle, and I think he got close to the first down there, Ian, on 3rd down.
Yeah, we'll see what the Phoenix decide to do here.
Saying he's going to be short by about a yard.
Leading this game by 19. And you can't fault them for going for it here. They've got some of their young guys out there trying to develop their talent as well. And you know, Matt, this is a Tiger team that's replacing a lot of leadership from last year. You got guys stepping into new roles, young players who are getting their first real taste of Friday night action. So it's going to be fun to watch how this team builds itself up. But they ran into a tough opponent tonight, and things didn't necessarily go their way as far as the breaks either.
And then again, and it's, you know, not trying to make excuses or anything, but the depth difference between Sonoraville and Darlington. You also have one of your better players that we have not seen take the field this year in McKay Rush.
Yeah.
You know, Demarion Floyd. He hasn't looked 100% in this game. He didn't have a carry until the second half of the game. So, you know, it's just one of those situations where you just move on to the next week.
That's right. Right. And Coach Groves, he's been around the block. There'll be a lot of teachable moments for him, and I expect them to have a really great week of practice as they prepare for Christian Heritage, which has become a rivalry game. Those two teams don't like each other at all.
They don't, and that is going to be, always is, an interesting atmosphere for a game, and they put us on the roof over there to call the game up next to the PA, and let me tell you, It'll rattle your brain up there. That PA is so loud. So if you're watching the broadcast next week, get ready to experience that with us, because it'll be on there, no doubt about it, if it's still the same setup. All right, power formation. Pate Jackson is back out on the field. They're going to run it up the middle this time, and they're able to convert on 4th down and move the chains and closer towards the end zone yet again.
And, Matt, that'll allow Sonoraville to run some more of this clock. And what has been a dominant second half performance for the Phoenix.
All right, so 1st and 10 here for the Phoenix. Ball at the 27-yard line of the Darlington Tigers. And Pate will line them up yet again with 2 wide receivers on the near side, one on the far side. And here comes the snap. They're going to hand it off and run it up the middle, and he's going to be brought down after a very short gain if he got anything there. I think that was that Cole Collins, the ball carrier?
Number 15?
I thought it was 12.
Yeah, 12 maybe.
I don't know. 4:19 left to go here in the ball game, and it's 10 o'clock. You're listening to WLAQ Rome. Scoreboard shows coming up pretty quickly after this game. 4 wide receiver set, 2 on each side. Shotgun formation. We get ready for the snap. And quarterback's going to take it. He is going to hand it off. They're going to run it, and running with the ball is same young man, Cole Collins, and he's going to pick up another first down for the Phoenix. They're inside the 15 now.
Collins, a senior, getting some of his first carries of the night.
Back out on the field for the Tigers, you're going to have Aiden Davis running back out there on defense for Talon Shirey. Ball at the 15-yard line in the red zone. Phoenix go back to the line of scrimmage, going to send a couple of wide receivers on each side. And at quarterback is Chaz Pate, brother of Jackson Pate. Chaz, a sophomore. They're going to hand it off again to Collins, and he finds some room to run. He's in the end zone. Another score from 15 yards here for the Sonoraville Phoenix. They strike again, Ian.
Yes, they did. Cole Collins just took that handoff, made a few moves, and made the break to the end zone. It was all knotted up at 13 at halftime, but it has been all Sonoraville in the second half.
So the Phoenix will run out and try to tack on the extra point. Mateo Trio here with the attempt to handle the hold is going to be Chaz Pate. And here comes the kick on the way, and that one is going to be through. Okay. So the score moves to 39-13 in favor of the Phoenix. So they always ask the question, will the Phoenix rise tonight?
They certainly did.
They certainly did here in the second half.
Yeah, no doubt.
Had a tie ball game at 13 apiece at halftime, and it's been all Sonoraville here in the second half of this football game.
And just a tough night for the Tigers. You go back to the end of that first half and those 2 possessions where Darlington had the ball with a chance to score and couldn't punch it in on either opportunity, and how different would the second half have been had they been able to go into the locker room with a lead. But it wasn't meant to be. It just wasn't. It wasn't the Tigers' night tonight.
And like you said earlier, man, I mean, of course you want to win every game, but your main goal in these first few games of the season, non-region contest, is to get you guys ready for region play, which is not going to begin until September the 22nd. Here at home against Dade County, so still going to have 2 non-region games in a bye week before you get to that point. So a lot of work to do, as there always is over the course of a football season, but plenty of time here for this Tigers team to tune things up before they get into region play.
You're trying to build yourself up for that region schedule, and you've got 2 more really tough opponents before you get there. I mean, Christian Heritage is always tough, and we've already seen Northwest Whitfield annihilate Pepperell.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good squad up there as well.
And that's what you want. You want challenges, throughout the course of your non-region play. You want you guys to be battle-tested and ready to roll. Trio to kick it off here for the Tigers. Talon Shirey has got it. He's standing around the 5-yard line waiting for the ball. That's going to be end over end. And that's going to sail right into the hands of Talon Shirey, looking for something big here on this return. He runs out and stays up, breaks a couple of tackles, and is hauled out of bounds around the 18-yard line.
And that's where they will take over. Not a lot of offensive reps in this second half for the Darlington Tigers. And will we see Luke Parker back out on the field? I think we will.
And Talon coming up a little bit gimpy there after that return. He's been banged up quite a bit here in this game.
Took that hard hit.
He's going to be pretty sore after this one's over. A lot of guys are.
It's been a hard-hitting affair.
Tough sledding, for sure.
Yeah.
Parker is back out at quarterback. He's got Miles Twyman in the backfield with him. 1st and 10 for the Tigers with the ball on the 18-yard line. Parker's going to hand it off, and Twyman's got it, and a head full of steam, picks up about 5 or 6 yards, and still just 100% effort here from the Darlington Tigers.
Yeah, just fighting and scratching for every inch out there, which is what you've got to do. Glad to see them still bearing down and trying to execute here with the game in hand for the Phoenix.
Which, for anybody that's watched these kids play over the last few years, nobody's surprised by that at all. There's the snap. Parker's going to hand it off. Miles Twyman's got it again. He's on the run. He's at the 40. Now he's across the 50. Can anybody get him? I don't think so. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. He's in the end zone. Miles Twyman with a big run.
No flags. That one will stand. And I think Miles hurt us.
76 yards to pay dirt. Did I do the math right on that one?
2 plays. Nope. 76-yard touchdown.
No, yeah, that was right. Boy, what a run.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he hurt us.
Yeah, he's definitely, without a doubt, our honeymoon bakery icing on the cake.
Decision made.
Yeah. So Hendricks Jones on for the point after attempt. Now Darlington trails by 20 points. 39-19 is your score. And here's the snap. Kick is on the way, and that one's going to be through. And now it's going to be a 19-point ball game.
Yeah, go out there, you kick the onside, see what happens, right?
Hey, absolutely.
Keep scrapping. No quit in this Tiger team.
So Miles Twyman on a big run, scores a touchdown, puts the icing on the cake on the icing on the cake award.
He
did. He wins tonight because he was going to get it regardless.
Yeah, we were there. He had played with a lot of grit tonight, but that run absolutely baked the cake.
No doubt. Glad to have you with us tonight on live coverage of Darlington football on WLAQ or online on the YouTube stream for Darlington School, produced by Northwest Georgia Medium. Always enjoy working with Nathan and his crew. They do a fantastic job, and
they do.
It's always fun to get the gang back together again when the season rolls back around.
Hey.
Nice to have David Corbin sitting right next to us, man.
Hey, it's nice to have Dave back in the picture. We missed him last season.
How could any human being be that nice all the time? But he is.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Got an update for you, Cass and Rockmart. 10-10.
Oh my
it's all knotted up at the Rock. Go get you some Pizza Farm, people. And
man.
Model is up 29-6 in the fourth quarter.
Starting to pour it on a little bit over there down in Lindale. That is just an absolute huge win.
Here's a surprising score. Callaway 27, Cedartown 10.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Callaway's got a good program. They did win a state championship a few years ago back in 2020, but still, I would have thought Cedartown would be ahead. Here comes the onside kick.
Got it.
They got it. Was that Duggan who got it?
That was Noah Duggan. Yep.
Noah Duggan coming up with the onside kick recovery here, and the Tigers are in business here. This thing may not be completely over yet.
That was outstanding. Now, there's a little bit of a meeting here. Did he touch it? It looked like it went 10 yards to me. Are you kidding me? Oh, wow. Really?
Are they saying Sonoraville ball?
Yes, they are.
Man.
They are. They're saying he touched it before it traveled 10 yards. And I'd have to see the replay on that, Matt. We're going to take a peek at it. Here it is, and that is the correct call. Yeah.
Well, it was certainly a great attempt. It almost pulled it off. But the Sonoraville Phoenix have got the ball in a 39-20 lead with 2:31 left. I imagine you're going to see a heavy dose of the run here to try to bleed the clock. Young man's got the ball running. He spins around a couple of times, breaks a few tackles. He's on the run. He's at the 30-yard line, and he gets inside the 25. That was a big-time run right there from a man that we hadn't called his name yet, I don't believe, Braxton McMahon, and the freshman. Wow, what a run.
Yeah. And they have, it'll be interesting to see the stat sheet. Sonoraville has racked up some yards on the ground.
They really have. So the Phoenix will go back to line of scrimmage. We thought the Tigers had stolen a possession there to try to keep themselves in the game.
But I love the fight.
Oh, I
love
do too.
the fight, and I'm sure Coach Groves feels the same way.
No doubt.
Boys are out there giving it their all.
Agreed. 2 wide receivers, 1 on each side. Is it still Chaz Pate at quarterback? I think it is. Yep, it is. So Pate ready to take the snap. He's got the ball, fakes the handoff, is going to run off to the left side. A flag comes in. We got another penalty flag.
Yeah, that'll back the Phoenix up.
I got a hole in my roster.
I do too. I saw that hole right when you did, my friend.
We got a number 53, but we don't have a name beside it, so we'll have to see if we can get that corrected. We apologize for that. We want to make sure we say all these young men's name because they've been working super hard out in the heat and all that kind of stuff. We want to give them credit for getting out there for sure.
That was a hold that will back up Sonoraville. They'll have the ball 1st and 20. The Darlington 33-yard line.
So Sonoraville back on the ball here with 1st and 20. As you mentioned, at the 33. There's the snap. Pate puts the ball in the air, and the receiver turned and started cut up field before he had the ball. And that's incomplete.
Yep, just wanted to start running with it before he secured it. Stops the clock. And tell you what, Sonoraville traveled well to this game, though. Those away stands are full, and the student section's fired up. Just shows you what kind of program they've built.
And not to mention, just in weather that's not really conducive to wanting to spend a lot of time outside.
Right.
Here comes the snap to Chaz Pate. He is going to hand it off, and they go around the left side, and there's a good tackle, as you mentioned, from the Tigers.
Yeah. I think it was Connor Ellison that got him.
Yeah, you're right. Connor will check out for this next play after making a nice tackle. So 3rd down and 20 as the Phoenix go back to the drawing board, but they've got this one in hand now, 39-20. We're almost down to the minute mark. Clock ticking at 1:13.
Yeah, I think they're just going to melt this one away.
And you know, the Sonoraville Phoenix, they have played Darlington 5 times and have not picked up a win. This is the 6th time in the series. So this is going to be, you know, a big program win for them.
Right, and let's face it, you know, I know Darlington's a smaller school, but this is a proud program. And this is a marquee win for Sonoraville. That's something that Darlington's going to get. They're going to get everybody's best shot. People want to come and compete against the Tigers and get a win.
And that's what you want.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you want. So 51 seconds left on the clock, and we got a timeout on the field. Let's take it with them. We'll be back. 39-20, Sonoraville leads. We're back in just moments, 30 seconds. Welcome you back as the Phoenix get lined up here with 51 seconds left on the clock. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off, and running with it is Collins, and he is going to be hauled in and brought down after a pick of about 10 yards. They had a long way to go because it was 3rd and 20.
Yeah, but with 40 seconds on the clock, they might have to snap it one more time, and that will put this one in the books.
Very brief wrap-up show at the end of the game because we're already cutting into the Rome Orthopedic Center scoreboard shows time, so we want to make sure to get it over to Lynn and Austin and their calls. They're going to have some really fun calls tonight. Jeff Gable's going to be fired up, isn't he?
No doubt about it, as Model has got that one in hand.
So 4th down and 8. Ball on the 22. Here's the snap. Quarterback's going to hand it off. They're going to run it and pick up another chunk of yards there. And that's going to be a turnover on downs, and we're going to see this game come to a close.
Well, Darlington will probably go out and take a knee, and a tough night for the purple and white.
No doubt about it. Of course, the game was tied at 13 apiece at halftime, and then Sonoraville came out and scored a ton of points unanswered. Darlington got a score on a big run from Miles Twyman there late in the game, but that was the only score for Darlington there in the second half, and they're going to fall tonight in by a final score of 39-20. Our icing on the cake, our Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game tonight was Miles Twyman. We don't have the final stats on him. We'll get that to you coming up next week, but what a great night for that young man.
I mean, he carried the load at running back all night long, well over 100 yards on the ground. He also had a 50-yard wheel route reception, several other catches. So we'll get his stats and talk about that with Coach Groves next Wednesday. But Miles Twyman definitely earned it. He earned the cupcakes.
No doubt about it. Well, man, we are actually going to just go ahead and send it back for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show. Again, your final score tonight, Sonoraville 39, Darlington 20. Darlington moves to 1-1 on the young season. They'll get ready for a road trip going to Christian Heritage coming up next week up in the Dalton area. So looking forward to that one and taking the first road trip here of the season. That'll be a lot of fun. Then it'll be a bye week after that. And then it's up to Northwest Whitfield to close out non-region play before you jump back into region play against Dade County coming up on September the 22nd. It'll be here before you know it. You blink your eyes and you're already at that point of the season. So anyway, we're going to wrap things up on this end. Want to take an opportunity to thank Ian Griffin, my man here doing color commentary, my analyst. As always, appreciate you, Matt. It's always fun to work these games with you.
Absolutely. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Also want to recognize Lynn Butler back at the studio, as well as the video crew, press box cameras tonight, Thomas Patterson and Benton Potts. Director was Mike Garrett. Replay was Nathan Patterson. Graphics and stats, David Corbin tonight. We've had a tremendous amount of fun. Wish we had a happier story in terms of the results of the game, but we'll get ready for next week.
That's right.
All right,
always
man.
Next Friday.
No question about it. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, whether you watched on the YouTube channel or on the radio. We're going to send it to WLAQ for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show, and we'll bid you adieu. Hope you have a great night tonight, everybody. So long.